and in Scotland, and we're just waiting for referee Andrew Madley to blow his whistle and West Ham United get us underway. A West Ham side, Tony, that you just starting to find their feet after a slow start to their league campaign.
Yeah, very much so, and I think the additions that they've made and the money that they have spent as well as Chelsea will put added pressure really on David to try and improve from last year, and last year was an absolutely fantastic season for him. So, you know, he's got a few of his new signings in the team today. It'll be interesting to see how they settle to Premier League, to the pace of the Premier League, Ian.
Yeah, Tony talks about the spending. Third biggest spenders in this window in the Premier League, West Ham United, with just under £180 million that they've spent. They've got to throw on that far side. Emerson, of course, former Chelsea player. Zuma, another player who used to ply his trade here at Stamford Bridge. And Declan Rice passes the ball out towards that far side. Back with Rice once again in the midfield. Rice drives into the centre circle to Bowen, closed down by Cucurella. Out towards Soufal, prodded out by Cucurella. A West Ham throw, as West Ham United in their claret and sky blue colours are playing from left to right as we look. So they're attacking the Matthew Harding stand away towards our right hand side. Thiago Silva with the header away. Sterling lays it off towards Pulisic, gets the return ball back from Cucurella, very congested and out of play. It goes for a throw. Tony. Yeah,
Pulisic needs a game today. You know, he's flitted in and out of the team, flitted in and out of good performances and not so good performances. The team will need him today. You know, he's playing up front with Sterling, you know, and the two of them will need some help, because West Ham, under David, they're always very solid and very hard to break down.
Ball played out to Cucurella on this near side. Diagonal ball in field. Sterling trying to get away from Kehrer. He's done ever so well there, Sterling. And then he's actually just given it away to Declan Rice. The referee had played an advantage from the initial first challenge, but the ball, it was like it was glued to his feet.
Yeah, it was great play, great hold-up play, and he turned, the defender tried to win the ball around one side, Ian, and he just turned him inside and did very well, dropped it off. But it's been a good start, nice and bright. Chelsea will move the ball round them through the pitch. I think West Ham will play a little bit more direct with Antonio up there, and they'll back him up to get the balls wide and look to get crosses into the box.
Gallagher on the halfway line for Chelsea, out towards Reece James. Loftus-Cheek gets a touch. Fofana, who's playing right of the three. Thiago Silva now in possession, the central figure. Koulibaly to the left of that three-man defence on a bright sunny day in West London. For what I would imagine could be quite a lively afternoon in London. Tottenham, Fulham, Millwall, Cardiff. Leeds United are at Brentford as well, as the ball is with Sterling on that far side.
We're in the safest place, Ian.
High up in the gantry in the main stand here at Stamford Bridge. No goals to tell you about anywhere around the country just as yet, as Fofana making his debut after that move from Leicester City. Thomas Tuchel saying in the build-up to this game he didn't disrespect Leicester City. I'm sure Leicester fans might have a different view about that. Salford are leading Crawley by 1-0. Salford are going well in League Two, and they've scored the first goal of the afternoon in the Football League. Incidentally, two other potential stories to keep an eye out. One of them includes Preston North End, who are looking to equal a Football League record today of 8 successive clean sheets from the start of the season. It was two sides previously, Portsmouth and Hereford. Hereford in the 80s did concede in their 8th game as they lost away to, I think it was to Chesterfield, but Portsmouth, 8 successive clean sheets set back in 1922-23. So that's what an unbeaten Preston North End are looking to try and equal at Deepdale against Birmingham. Bolton 0, Charlton 1 is the latest score in League One. Koulibaly's touch rolls out of play, and in the bright sunshine it will be a West Ham throw. We'll stay in the capital, nip to Brentford. Jonathan O'Brien.
Brentford 0, Leeds 0. Brentford starting on the front foot. Jensen dispossessing Drammer high up the pitch, curling it just wide. 0-0.
Thank you, Jonathan. Commentary to come from 5:30. Aston Villa and Manchester City. John Murray and Michael Brown providing the commentary a little later on. Earlier we brought you the Old Firm. Celtic going 5 points clear after a resounding 4-0 win against Rangers. Everton 0, Liverpool 0 was the full-time score in the Merseyside derby. Next week we'll have both the Glasgow clubs in Champions League coverage, commentary on 5 Live. Tuesday night will be so special at Parkhead. Celtic Real Madrid, the European champions, that's from 7. Wednesday 5:30, Ajax Rangers, to be followed by Napoli against Liverpool. So Glasgow, Amsterdam and Naples will be our 3 bases for the Champions League next week. Here we are though in the sunshine in West London. It's Chelsea 0, West Ham United 0, but one of our featured games in the Championship has had a goal. It's at Rotherham. From West London to South Yorkshire, Chris Coles.
And the goal has gone to Rotherham. What a start for the home side. And Richard Wood, 37-year-old captain, already with his 4th of the season, powering home a header from a rather hopeful cross into the penalty area. Rotherham 1, Watford 0.
Patient start to this London derby here at Stamford Bridge. Ball played back to Thiago Silva. I mentioned Portsmouth about that record. They've started the season well, top of League One and unbeaten. There's been a goal, so Hale.
Trailing Portsmouth 0, Peterborough 1, mix up in defence, and Jack Marriott pounced. Portsmouth 0, Peterborough 1.
Peterborough, who've lost their last 3 away from home, but are 4th in the table. So first against 4th in League One. There's been a try in the rugby. Sarah Orchard.
It's England women 5, USA 0. 6 minutes on the clock. It came from the midfield. 5 metres out they had a scrum, collected at the base by number 8 Poppy Cleal, and popped off to the number 9 Natasha Hunt to top down. But I can tell you there's going to be another for England now. Jess Breach is about to go under the post. England going 10-0 up in this World Cup warm-up.
Northampton 1, Barrow 0 is the latest score in League 2. Still 0-0 here at Stamford Bridge as we welcome listeners to the BBC World Service. Cucurella on the left, crosses, and Zuma comes across to deal with it. So wherever you are in the world, always a pleasure to have your company, the World Service, joining BBC Radio 5 Live here at Stamford Bridge. It's 0-0, and here's the early thoughts of Tony Pulis.
Yeah, well, West Ham are quite happy to drop off and play really, really deep when Chelsea have got the ball. Chelsea will have to be very, very patient, and if they can, play through the lines quickly. But like I say, West Ham are really flooding. As soon as they lose it, they're just flooding the areas.
Gallagher nips it around the right-hand side to James. He was closed down quickly by Declan Rice in the left-hand side of the West Ham penalty area. And as they attack the shed end here at Stamford Bridge, half of that end is populated by the West Ham. Noisy support on there as ever, as the short distance from east to West London. But Chelsea have a corner kick on the right that Cucurella, the bushy-haired defender, is going to go across to take it on that far side. West Ham have every claret shirt back inside their own penalty area. Cucurella, it'll be an in-swinger from that right-hand side. In it comes now, doesn't beat the first man, headed out by Paquetá on his West Ham United debut.
That is so disappointing to come across from left back to take a corner and then hit the front man. It's so disappointing.
We've been to Brentford, we'll now go to Tottenham, North London. John Southall.
Tottenham 0, Fulham 0, but great work from Harry Kane. Turned on the edge of the area, his shot saved by Leno to his right-hand side. Tottenham 0, Fulham 0.
Here is Thiago just outside the centre circle. Koulibaly plays the ball back. Thiago Silva out to Conor Gallagher, return ball. Seeing a lot of the ball at the home side.
Yeah, there's been passes into midfield. Gallagher's done it there where he's had his shoulders facing the ball and he's had enough space to turn and run at the back, or take it onto the back line. And that's what Chelsea, if they're going to find those pockets, they've got to be half turned to make sure their next touch is forward. Otherwise they'll keep going back all the time here.
Here is Loftus-Cheek. James, right corner of the area, rolls it. Breaking out of defence was Souček. He was caught late by Loftus-Cheek. Andrew Madley will give the free kick to West Ham United. And he's shown a yellow card. First serious challenge of the game. He was late, and Andrew Madley showing a yellow to the Chelsea midfielder. 9 minutes in.
Yeah, it's not a great challenge. I wouldn't say Loftus was a defensive player, would you, Ian? So he's more reckless than anything else.
So Andrew Madley, no hesitation from him. Souček back to his feet. West Ham United in possession. Kehrer, who's had a rather eventful time in the Premier League since his arrival from Paris Saint-Germain, the German international. He scored an own goal against Tottenham. He conceded a penalty against Brighton and Hove Albion. That's just in his opening 3 Premier League games. As the ball from Zouma to Chelsea, Old Boys, Emerson to Souček, under pressure from Kovacic tracking his run. And the ball then played up from that left-hand side to Antonio, who's just given Thiago a little nudge.
Thiago's done brilliant. I know Antonio's touched him, but I'm not sure he's touched him that hard. It's a free kick. Yeah, he's gone flying. This is the positions, Ian, where Gallagher and the midfield players have got to come off the players and half open up so they can receive it. See Pulisic there. If you receive, you can play that next ball forward, then you'll be at the back of West Ham. Otherwise, they'll be playing in front all afternoon.
Bolton have equalised at home to Charlton. Pulisic, though, is attacking left-hand side. Pulisic looks up. Zouma cuts it out very, very well.
Yeah, great defending.
He was on the stretch inside his 6-yard area. He knew he had Raheem Sterling behind him, and he came across and dealt with it very, very effectively with his right leg. But they've got round the back on the left-hand side, probably for the first time in this game. 11 minutes played. Chances for Tottenham. John Southall.
Goal disallowed. Tottenham 0, Fulham 0. There was a Son ball in from the left-hand side. Harry Kane was offside. Didn't look like he got a touch on it as it crept in the left-hand corner, but he was certainly impeding the keeper. Tottenham 0, Fulham 0.
Forest Green 0, Shrewsbury 1, a latest score in League One. 0-0 here. No goals in the Premier League. You're listening to 5 Live Sport and the World Service. Koulibaly, short diagonal ball, Loftus-Cheek just outside the centre circle, goes square. Fofana gets a touch with his bright green boots on that far side. The signing from Leicester City making his Chelsea debut. Chelsea, Pulisic, short square ball to Kovacic and bypasses Koulibaly. And now it's with Thiago. Raheem Sterling drops deep at the moment. And then he picks up this ball on that far side and now decides to drive at the West Ham defence, and it's a strong run too into the penalty area and turned behind by Zouma.
Hasn't he started well, Sterling? He looked as bright as the button, and that's a great run from deep, 35 yards out. A good tackle again from Zouma, and Chelsea get another corner. The interesting thing about the corners, watching it as an ex-coach, manager, or whatever you want to say, is to see how teams set up. And West Ham, like you say, they got everybody back and they're all zonal. From these corners, I used to love to in-swing and get people to run across the front 2 players. If you get people across the front 2, it causes chaos if the ball misses that space.
Well, his last corner, Cucurella, didn't even beat the first man. Far side the right. It was a good ball in this time. Rice, though, leapt to head the ball away 6 yards out from in front of his own goal in the Scottish Premiership. There's been a sending off. I can tell you that Kilmarnock are down to 10 men. Ash Taylor has been sent off in the Scottish Premiership. So and there's also been a sending off. So they're away at Hibs so Hibs 0, Kilmarnock 0, but Kilmarnock are down to 10 men, and Wycombe Wanderers are down to 10 men as they're drawing 0-0 away to Fleetwood. No other goals to tell you about just as yet. Let's go to Molineux. John Akers.
Wolves 0, Southampton 0. Ryan Aït-Nouri's gone closest for Wolves. A shot saved at the near post by Bazunu, and Chem Campbell is the substitute in for Jimenez, who got injured in the warm-up. 0-0.
Ball goes back from Fofana to Mendy in a luminous orange goalkeeping outfit away towards our right-hand side. Hibs have taken advantage now against the 10 men. They lead Kilmarnock by 1-0 at Easter Road. Stockport are leading Wimbledon at Edgeley Park in League 2 by 1-0, and there's now been a goal at Carrow Road in the Championship. Aaron Paul.
Norwich 1, Coventry 0. Teemu Pukki is up and running for the season. There was a slide rule pass played down the middle of the pitch. There was Pukki cutting through on goal, opened up his body and finished past the goalkeeper. Norwich 1, Coventry 0.
Bristol Rovers 0, Morecambe 1. Morecambe, who are yet to win in League 1, have taken the lead down there at the Memorial Ground. 0-0 here in the Premier League at Stamford Bridge. The ball is played back to Koulibaly and now to Thiago.
Yeah, Kovacic and Gallagher are pulling off, Ian, into those little pockets, and if you can find them and they're half turned, that's when they'll cause West Ham problems. But at the moment, West Ham are quite happy just to sit there.
Still goalless at Stamford Bridge. At Priestfield, Gillingham are down to 10 men. Gillingham 0, Swindon Town 0 is the latest score there in League 2. Thiago to Gallagher.
That's better.
Right hand side. Short diagonal ball, the return from Pulisic, edge of the area. Gallagher looks up, curls the ball. It's going to go away from Cucurella. We'll go back to Brentford. Jonathan Overend.
Brentford 0, Leeds 0. Brentford have had a couple of free kicks in an advanced position down the left. Jensen's taken both of them and whipped them in fast and furious on both occasions to try to test Meslier, but the keeper has punched them away well. It remains 0-0.
0-0 here. Still no goals at Newcastle, Nottingham Forest, Tottenham or Wolves. Everton Liverpool was also goalless earlier on. Barrow have equalised at Sixfields in League 2, second in the table this morning. Northampton 1, Barrow 1. Pete Wild has done a good job since he took charge there at Barrow. They've enjoyed an excellent start to the season in League 2. Let's get an update from Nottingham Forest. Pat Murphy.
Forest 0, Bournemouth 0. Feisty start. Forest a better side. Half chance for Worrell. Header, far post. Header, Bournemouth defender. It's Forest 0. Tony Pulis' home club 0.
Ball played back from Cucurella to Fofana. Fofana strides over the halfway line. Pulisic now takes it on for Chelsea. Pulisic almost comes to a standstill, rolls the ball back to Fofana, and now into the centre circle he goes towards Thiago. West Ham seem content to allow Chelsea to have the ball at that stage.
Yeah, they're just quite happy to sit there. Chelsea will have to be very, very patient, and like I said, when they get the opportunities in those pockets, they have to try and play on the half turn so their first touch can go forward, then they can play runners in. At the moment they're actually receiving it with their back to goal, and their first touch is going back, which giving West Ham the time to recover positions.
Kovacic back to Koulibaly. Loftus-Cheek along the ground. Sterling once again comes short. He's midway through the West Ham half. Central area. James plays it back out towards the right. Gallagher. James provides the width now, level with the penalty area, back towards Gallagher. Gallagher waits. Sterling always making himself available. He, though, is on the right-hand side. Triangular passing patterns there from Chelsea. Now Sterling inside to Pulisic. Outside the box he goes, right-hand side.
It's offside.
Offside. Goal at Doncaster. Charlie Slater.
Doncaster 0, Mansfield 1. Ollie Clark with a sweet volley from 20 yards out, picking out the top corner of the goal. 15 gone. Doncaster 0, Mansfield 1.
We'll go to Newcastle now. Will Perry.
Newcastle 0, Palace 0. Isak should have his second Newcastle goal. 1-on-1, tried to chip guide through, stayed on his feet to make the save. Anderson's got away with a challenge on Fraser in the box. Definite contact. Michael Salisbury and VAR not interested. Newcastle 0, Palace 0.
Fabianski in no real hurry to take this free kick. They're going to be hard to beat on the evidence of what we've seen so far, West Ham United.
Yeah, the only thing I'll say is when they get the ball, West Ham, they've got to keep it a little bit better to get support up with Antonio. Otherwise, Ian, they're just going to be on the back foot all day, really.
Here is Antonio to Paquetá. Forward ball, onside is Bowen, peels away left-hand side, plays it in low, back towards Paquetá. Fornells tries to drive forward, cleared away by Koulibaly. Rare chance for West Ham United then in the Chelsea half of the field. Still 0-0 here at Stamford Bridge on BBC Radio 5 Live, 18 minutes played. Here is Emerson on his return. Strong run down towards the byline. Easily cut out by Thiago. Plays it out towards Fofana, who goes down and wins the free kick. Fofana.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's a free kick, and I don't think Andrew most probably thought it was, but because of the dive and everything, the position he was in, he's given a soft one for me.
Yeah. It was definitely one of those occasions where the player made the most of it. Just a stoppage in play at the moment. It was Andrew Madley looking across towards the fourth official, who's Thomas Bramall.
Yeah, I think his wire has come out of his ear or something. If you have a look down there, Ian, to the right-hand side.
Oh, it's the assistant referee. Breakdown in communication, he's getting patched up.
Sorry, it's not a linesman.
Whilst there is a stoppage in play, we'll go to Tottenham. John Southall.
Tottenham 0, Fulham 0. You suspect the goal might be coming for Tottenham. They're certainly knocking on the door. They had a free kick 25 yards out a moment ago. Dyer straight into the wall. Tottenham 0, Fulham 0.
Play is about to resume here at Stamford Bridge for what has been a quiet London derby so far. 19 minutes played, 0-0. Sometimes a Saturday afternoon can be quite frenetic. There is to be no record at Deepdale for Preston North End. They have conceded their first goal in the Championship this season as Fornells tries to pierce the Chelsea back line with a through ball for Antonio that was cut out but Birmingham City have scored. They've lost their last 3, but it's Preston North End 0, Birmingham 1. So Portsmouth's 100-year record stays intact. Meanwhile, at the other end, Chelsea have won a corner kick, 0-0, 20 minutes played.
Again, Sterling, a long ball over the top, and he hasn't given it up, and he's really forced the defender into making a mistake, really, and giving the corner away.
So it's on this near side, the left, it's goalless. Gallagher's going to take it in front of that West Ham travelling support. Gallagher, left arm aloft, right-footed corner kick from the left-hand side, headed out by Zuma.
He's got to swing it on top of the goalkeeper, really, and get the bodies across the goalkeeper. And then it's a standing jump against a running jump, and 9 times out of 10, and if the ball's right, the person who's running will jump and leap a lot higher than the one who's standing still.
Tony Pulis, former Premier League Manager of the Year from his time at Crystal Palace, with us here today at Stamford Bridge. It's 0-0. We'll go to, in fact, see how Palace are faring at St James's. Will Perry.
Newcastle 0, Palace 0, but straight off the training ground, a short corner from Newcastle. Trippier looped it into the 6-yard box, far post arriving, Joel Linton, volley, side netting. Newcastle 0, Palace 0.
Fabianski clears, all in yellow, the West Ham keeper. Out it went towards Fornals on that far side on the halfway line, and it goes out of play for a throw. I don't think either keeper's been tested yet, have they?
No, for all Chelsea's play, it's mostly been in front, and West Ham will be happy with that. And Chelsea will be happy in respect of what have they got in there. West Ham got in their box once, and we've been going for how long, Ian?
Nearly midway through the first half,
yes.
And it's still 0-0. Only real bit of concern for West Ham United was when the cross from the left-hand side, and Zuma did well with Sterling loitering behind him, but that's been about it, really. Here is Thiago edging his way forward in the centre circle. Koulibaly across to Cucurella. Kevin Nolan and Paul Nevin, some of the assistants there for David Moyes in that tight technical area a long way down beneath us. Swish of the hand from Kevin Nolan just to make sure that West Ham don't sit too deep. Let's get news of the Formula 1, the Dutch Grand Prix for qualifying. Jack Nicholls.
Max Verstappen has taken pole position in front of his adoring home fans, 100,000 on their feet as he beat the 2 Ferraris, but beat both by less than a tenth of a second. So Verstappen on pole, Leclerc second, Sainz third for tomorrow's Grand Prix.
And you can hear that on Sports Extra from 1:45 tomorrow afternoon. Here in the sunshine at Stamford Bridge, Thiago to Sterling. Back then with Fofana. Every West Ham player is back behind the ball. They are certainly well drilled here, this David Moyes side. As Sutton are leading Harrogate by a 0 in League Two. Cucurella on this near side, the left, plays the ball back to Loftus-Cheek. Koulibaly comes forward, cries of shoot, instead left-footed, spreads the play out towards James, takes it high on the chest, fizzes the cross over from that right-hand side, overhits it though, out of play it goes for a throw. So Harrogate, without a winning 3 behind. Sutton, mind you, have done well so far in League Two, particularly at home, very, very strong. Tottenham against Fulham, John Southall.
Tottenham 0, Fulham 0, but Tottenham have just missed a great chance. Son with it, Richarlison on the left, picked out Son 12 yards out, unmarked, over the bar. Still looking for that first goal of the season, Son. Tottenham 0, Fulham 0.
Goalless there in North London, goalless here in West London, and free kick for a foul on Paquetá, the attacking midfielder that they've brought in from Lyon, which will be a club record fee. 36.5 million the initial fee, but the overall deal will rise to over £50 million.
Well, for him to get into the game, Ian, in dangerous positions where David would want him to be, and that's up in the final third round, and Antonio, they're just going to have to get a pass off West Ham, just to get him up in those positions, really. He just caught Koulibaly there as well.
Cambridge United have won their last 3 at the Abbey Stadium, leading Lincoln City by a 0 and Carlisle 0, Rochdale 1. Rochdale, who appointed Jim Bentley as their new manager on Monday, have taken the lead at Brunton Park. Stretching, Kehrer, edge of the area, gets enough on it to allow Soufal to get the clearance. That's charged down by Cucurella, and out of play it goes for a West Ham United goal kick. 25 minutes played, still goalless.
Yeah, it's the game slowed down, and West Ham will be pleased that the pace that Chelsea are playing at the moment. Sterling has looked bright. He's made a great run then, and if the ball had been a couple of inches higher, and he would have been in, and that's what they've got to try and do. Somehow they've got to try and get behind West Ham's line of really 9 players to create opportunities to give them the chance to take the lead.
Zakaria, who arrived on loan from Juventus, not registered in time for this game. Aubameyang, who they've signed with his broken jaw, requires a mask. That was a free kick to curb any threat of a counter-attack. Swansea lead Queen's Park Rangers in the Championship by 1-0. QPR, who've won their last 2, behind in South Wales. Brentford Leeds United, Jonathan Overend.
Well, it's 0-0 here. There's a possible VAR check for a Brentford penalty just as Leeds were getting a grip on possession in midfield. Brentford have had a glorious chance through young keen Lewis Potter, who's impressing here, but his shot was blocked. I'll let you know how this VAR check goes. 0-0.
BBC Radio 5 Live, and 0-0 here at Stamford Bridge. Fofana inside the West Ham half, plays it to Koulibaly, lays it off first time to Thiago in the centre circle. Antonio in front of him, and he turns and goes back to Edouard Mendy, the Chelsea goalkeeper. But it's a very, very sedate pace. Let's get an update from the 100 with Dan Norcross.
Well, 36 for 1. They've just lost a wicket, the Southern Brave. Danny White caught and bowled Ishmael. She tried to pull the ball, didn't get quite enough on it. It's a pretty slow wicket, but you'd say the Oval Invincibles have started the better here. 37 from 36, 1 wicket down. Port Vale 0, Cheltenham 1 is the latest score in League One. Souček's forward ball stopped by Cucurella, does well to get it inside. Space to now run into for Loftus-Cheek. Loftus-Cheek midway through the West Ham half. He then stops, much to the frustration of the crowd, turns back to Cucurella, left corner of the area. Sterling now takes over, goes into the box, back out it goes to Cucurella. First time cross, easily headed out by a head of Declan Rice. Wesley Fofana encouraged to shoot, instead shifts the ball right hand side. James waits, goes on the outside of Fornals. James plays it in low, cleared only as far as Pulisic, and West Ham corner kick came up a West Ham player.
There wasn't one Chelsea player in between the goal, Lenny, and when James has done really well down the right hand side, dropped his shoulder, gone down the line, he's played the ball across the face of the goal, and not one Chelsea player has gambled in behind there. It would have been a tap-in otherwise. Great play from James, but again, this is most probably why Chelsea they do need a top forward, a top player who's going to poach those goals in for them.
It was Kehrer with the clearance. It fell to Pulisic, and then it took a deflection on its way through and went behind for a corner kick. So on this near side, the left, 0-0. Dominated with possession, yet to create anything. Set piece off the head of Koulibaly. In fact, last touch came off a West Ham player in that aerial duel. Let's get an update on the England rugby with the women. Sarah Orchard.
It's England 19, USA 0. 22 minutes played. A try for Harlequins hooker Amy Cockayne, but don't let that scoreline deceive you. England do look rusty and ill-disciplined, but the USA now down to 14. It's England 19, USA 0.
Cambridge 2, Lincoln 0 is the latest score in League One. Chelsea have a corner kick. Cucurella to take it. Far side the right. This should be an in-swinger. Koulibaly again doesn't beat the first man. That's 2 now from that side, where both have been headed out by Paquetá. St Johnstone 1, St Mirren 0, a latest score in the Scottish Premiership. And in League One, Derby County are leading Plymouth by 1-0. Derby, who've won all 5 at home, and they're 1-0 up. Tony, 0-0 here.
Yeah, it's a slow, they're quite happy to allow Chelsea to have the ball. And I think what Chelsea have got to do, they've got to move the ball a bit quicker. But the players in the pockets have got to play half open, because they've got to take that first touch past the West Ham lines. At the moment, they're just taking it back and being patient, but not getting anywhere.
Crewe 1, Stevenage 0, latest score in League 2. Tony Pulis is with us here today at Stamford Bridge, watching Chelsea 0, West Ham United 0 as we approach the half hour on 5 Live and the World Service. Emerson, Paquetá, Emerson, Declan Rice now inside his own half. Here is Zuma from his time at Chelsea, 2 Premier League titles, a Champions League and a League Cup in his 7 years. The ball is played high and forward to Fornals. Fornals with the cross, caught at the near post by Edouard Mendy. And no other goals to tell you about elsewhere in the Premier League. But there is a penalty at Brentford. Jonathan Overend.
Well, it feels like yesterday I told you there was a VAR check going on. A penalty has been given, and it's for Brentford. And here's Ivan Toney stepping up to the ball, sending Meslier the wrong way. It's his 50th goal for Brentford, and Ivan Toney scores. Brentford 1, Leeds 0.
Thank you, Jonathan. Colchester 0, Hartlepool United 1 is the latest score in League 2, and Livingston lead Hearts by 1-0 in the Scottish Premiership. 0-0. Loftus-Cheek to Fofana. Crawley have equalised at Salford. Salford 1, Crawley 1, latest in League 2. Thiago Silva. Kovacic gives it to him back. Loftus-Cheek. Now Fofana. The wing-backs are pushed on high for Chelsea. Fofana runs midway through the West Ham half. Plays it back to Loftus-Cheek. Kovacic now comes to collect the ball in a central area. Into the centre circle for Koulibaly. Now towards Gallagher. Plays it back once more towards Fofana. West Ham United have everybody behind the ball. Gallagher right hand side, 6 yards in from the touchline. Goes out to the right touchline for James. Pulisic does a little turn, edge of the area. Kovacic 30 yards out from goal. Shoots! Just wide, right footed, goal kick, still 0-0.
Yeah, how many shots have we had on target both ends, Ian?
I'll check. I don't think we've had one yet.
Yeah, that one's outside the box and just goes wide. But they were, again, Chelsea very, very patient, possession based. But I'd really like them to be a little bit more dynamic, really, in the final third. They haven't got, apart from Sterling, they haven't got leg beaters. So everything they're trying to pass through the pitch. There's no one who's going to isolate. Doesn't look as though they're going to isolate someone and take him out of the game. And that's what Chelsea need at the moment. They need that person who's a leg beater, someone who can go at someone and just do something special and take someone out of the game. The only one who's done it so far has been James on the far side. Took someone out of the game. Great ball across the face of the goal, and there was no one there to tap it in.
Yeah, I mean,
West Ham will be pleased as punch. They'll be as pleased as punch that Chelsea are not as pedantic, but as slow as they would hope them to be.
0-0 then. Let's go racing. And it's the Sprint Cup at Haydock. Your commentator as ever, John Hunt.
Cool, wide open race, furlong and a half left to go here, just hitting the frontier, but with only a narrow margin is Harry 3. Also coming strongly, Emiratiana, and now Minzal, one of the favourites, quickening up well from the back. Rohan and Holly Doyle is finishing very nicely indeed, but Minzal has got the quickening touch here, and Minzal goes 2-3 lengths clear. Oh, he's impressive. Minzal, the runaway winner of the Sprint Cup. It's a tight photo for second between Rohan and last year's winner Emiratiana. Then we had Flaming Rib in Michael Owen's ownership, but it was all Minzal there for Jim Crowley and Owen Burrows, the winning trainer. Popular winner that as well here, one of the favourites at 7-2.
Sounded very, very comfortable for Minzal. Bristol Rovers have equalised at home. Bristol Rovers 1, Morecambe 1. And in answer to your question, no team has had a shot on target just as yet.
Yeah, Fofana fell over again then, but thankfully the referee didn't give a free kick.
It's a throw to West Ham. Emerson looking to come forward on that left-hand side. He was stopped. Ball then to Rice. Plays it out towards Sofal, 30 yards out from goal. Curls the ball in. Antonio waits, and it arcs its way away from the goal. And it's marshalled out safely and out for a goal kick. Brentford lead Leeds United by 1-0, the only goal in the Premier League so far. We'll get an update from the northeast. Will Perry.
Newcastle 0, Palace 0. Big chance, Palace. Scuffed shot, fell to Mateta, who turned and was denied by a brilliant Pope save. Really livening up, end-to-end, tasty challenges. Zaha's wound up. Surprise, surprise. Newcastle 0, Palace 0.
There has been another goal elsewhere in the Premier League. It's at the City Ground. Pat Murphy.
It's gone to Forest from an in-swinging corner from Gibbs White. Poor defending from Bournemouth. The towering Koyeta got up there with a splendid header from 10 yards out. Forest 1, Bournemouth 0.
Coventry have equalised at Norwich 1-1. We'll bring you news of that when we can. Here is Sterling. Sterling edge of the area for Chelsea. Plays it forward. Pulisic takes it into his stride very, very well with the outside of his right boot. And then Sufal came across and just touched it behind for a corner kick.
Yeah, that was better. They played through the pitch quickly. They had runners through the pitch, and Sufal has done really well. Really good defending. But Chelsea were brighter then. A couple of passes. Then they had runners behind or looking to get behind West Ham's back line.
10 minutes to go to half-time on 5 Live in the World Service. And it's going to be Gallagher to take the corner kick. On this near side, the left. Bit of a stuttering run up from Gallagher. In it comes now. Zuma heads it away well, headed back by Cucurella. Another powerful header out by Zuma. Paquetá tries to pick it up, but Cucurella got the ball, I thought. The referee, meanwhile, has said that that'll be a free kick. Let's go to Norwich. Aaron Paul.
It still is Norwich 1, Coventry City 0. Carmut Fadzian thought he'd equalised for the visitors, but the referee deciding that Tyler Walker was a little bit physical on the Norwich goalkeeper, Tim Krul. Goal disallowed after an age. Norwich 1, Coventry 0.
Yeah, that's yet to appear on my screen. So Norwich 1, Coventry 0. Here, despite his protests, Cucurella is going in the book of referee Andrew Madley. Second player to be booked. Cucurella, after 35 minutes, joins Ruben Loftus-Cheek in the notebook of Andrew Madley. Let's get an update from Motherwell. Connie McLaughlin.
It's Motherwell 0, Dundee United 0, and Kevin Van Veen, the man who scored 3 in the last 3 league matches, you'd have put your mortgage on scoring it, stepped up but hit a shot right at the goalkeeper Carl-Johan Eriksson. So as it stands, still with 35 minutes on the clock, is Motherwell 0, Dundee United 0.
Barnsley, who are yet to win away in League One, are at Hillsborough today, who are third in the table, and it's in that South Yorkshire derby. Devante Cole has scored. Sheffield Wednesday 0, Barnsley 1. Nothing materialises from the West Ham United free kick. Chelsea try and get Sterling away on this near side. Paquetá comes across, slides, out of play, it goes for a throw. Koulibaly will hand it towards Cucurella. Still aggrieved at the yellow card. He has a word in the shell-like of the fourth official in between the two technical areas in front of the tunnel down below. Back to Rotherham, another goal, Chris Coles.
Well, they barely threatened, but Watford are back in this game. Rotherham 1, Watford 1. Terrific volley from Vakun Bayo just inside the penalty area. Left foot, fabulous technique, top corner. Rotherham 1, Watford 1.
Soufal in possession for West Ham United. Paquetá gives it to him back, and then it's with Soufal to Kehrer, to Zuma now, and to Emerson, the left back for West Ham United. And then he goes all the way back to Fabianski, and Fabianski clears long, chested forward by Koulibaly.
Well, you've got Antonio, 6'2", strong as an house and an horse, and then you've got Bowen, who's not that big, and the goalkeeper's kicking it out to him. Ian, David will be going mad on the side with that.
David Moyes, who is winless in all 67 Premier League away games as a manager at Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool and Manchester United. His record at those 4 grounds in the Premier League, he's drawn 21 and lost 46. Tottenham Fulham, John Southall.
Tottenham 0, Fulham 0, but when will Heung-min Son score a goal? Lovely ball through from Harry Kane, great movement from Son, brought it down on his chest, 5 yards out, struck the underside of the bar. Tottenham 0, Fulham 0.
Mind you, that said, with that record, he'll be very pleased with the way his side have defended here today, because Chelsea have really struggled to create chances. Newcastle Crystal Palace, Will Perry.
Newcastle 0, Palace 0. It really shouldn't be. Guaita with an excellent save to deny Longstaff's header from a corner, and Almiron, a deflected volley. It went all the way through, looked like it was going to creep into the bottom right, struck the right hand post. 0-0 at St James's.
Antonio, battling away all on his lonesome, has done well to win West Ham United a throw-in on that far side and carry them.
Yeah, he took the whole team up the pitch then. The ball up the side of the pitch. He's had 2 players around him, Thiago and who was it?
Fofana,
just smashed the 2 of them out of the way. He gets a throw-in down the end, and hopefully West Ham can build something from this.
Nice touch by Paquetá into the feet of Antonio, who crosses over the head of both Bowen and Cucurella. Soufal fires it back across from the right-hand side, goes off the head of Thiago, drops towards Fornals on the volley edge of the area, right-footed. It was a dipping effort, it was just wide. Carlisle have equalised at home to Rochdale. Carlisle 1, Rochdale 1. Women's World Cup qualifier, Austria, England. Team News, Shojo Saka.
Yeah, 3 changes to the England 11 that started the Wembley final against Germany. Alicia Russo comes in for the retired Ellen White. Ella Toone is in for the injured Fran Kirby, and Alex Greenwood replaces Rachel Daly at left back. Remember that the Lionesses need just a draw in Austria today to confirm their place at next summer's World Cup.
Port Vale 1, Cheltenham 1, and our featured game in League One, there's been a goal. Sahel Sahi.
Portsmouth have equalised. It's Portsmouth 1, Peterborough 1, direct from a free kick, diving header from Dane Scarlett, his 2nd league goal in successive weekends. Portsmouth 1, Peterborough 1.
Leyton Orient, leaders of League Two, unbeaten, are leading Tranmere by a goal to nil, and you're up to date with the goals as they go in around the country on BBC Radio 5 Live. 5 minutes to go to half-time. Chelsea 0, West Ham United 0. Derby have got a second. Derby 2, Plymouth 0. Here is Loftus-Cheek in the centre circle. Out it goes now towards James, high up the pitch, right-hand side, enters the box, left corner, now crosses, Souček heads it behind, corner kick to Chelsea.
I mean, that's 4 corners now, 4 or 5 corners for Chelsea. Is Cucurella going across to take it? Let's hope he does better, and he's done a couple of occasions hitting that front man, to walk all across the pitch and for everybody to be set up and keep hitting that front man. Fingers crossed now he sticks a bit of quality on there for Chelsea.
It's Cucurella who's wandering across. He just raises his right hand as the Chelsea fans applaud him on that far side. And it's West Ham United who have everybody back in their own penalty area. Cucurella, an in-swinging corner, right-hand side, in it comes now. Fisted away by Fabianski. Gallagher up against Bowen. Out of play it goes. There's a goal at Tottenham. John Southall.
It was coming. Tottenham 1, Fulham 0. Good work from Richarlison on the right of the penalty area. Picked out Højbjerg, who stuck it into the bottom left-hand corner. Tottenham 1, Fulham 0.
Elsewhere, Nottingham Forest 1, Bournemouth 0. Brentford 1, Leeds United 0. Still goalless between Newcastle and Palace and Wolves and Southampton. Luton Town are leading Wigan by a goal to nil. They've won 2 of their last 3. They're 1-0 up at Kenilworth Road, and Fleetwood 0, Wycombe 1 is a latest score, despite Wycombe being down to 10 men in League One. Goalless here at Stamford Bridge. Fofana's forward ball. Gallagher takes it on that right hand side, plays it back then to the former Leicester player making his Chelsea debut. He now gives it to Loftus-Cheek, sprays it out towards Cucurella on this near side the left, just in from the touchline. Back then to Koulibaly, short forward ball. Pulisic, who's dragging Kehrer with him, out of position to Thiago. But by the time Chelsea played the ball at the back, Kehrer's got time to run back in.
They're well set. The other thing is as well, Ian, Gallagher, who, watching him at Palace, would make runs in behind back fours and always be up and around the front players. He needs to get up there as well.
James trying to get on the outside on that Chelsea right, but doesn't get past Fornells, who slides to get the block challenge in and diverts the ball behind for a corner kick. We've got 3 minutes of normal time remaining and still awaiting the first goal in this London derby. Last season West Ham lost 4 of their 5 away London derbies, except Crystal Palace on New Year's Day. They're keeping Chelsea at bay here as Bolton now lead Charlton by 2-1 in League One. Cucurella, another corner kick far side the right in front of the shed end. Another in-swinger. In it comes now. Headed out by Souček. He's got a blow to the head. Referee will have to stop play. In fact, there's 2 of them have gone down.
I'd be really disappointed. Also, 6 or 7 corners that Chelsea have had, and I don't think they've got a head on one of them, Ian. Now, whether that's the quality, well, it is the quality over the far side. It's been pretty average. You've definitely got to get better quality into the box.
Bradford City are leading Walsall by a goal to nil, and there has been a goal at Blackburn. Lee Blakeman.
Blackburn 0, Bristol City 1. Header at the back post from Tommy Conway. Great work by Weimann in the build-up. 2 to go until the break. Blackburn 0, Bristol City 1.
A goal at Brentford, another one, Jonathan Obrent.
Another one for Ivan Toney. Brentford 2, Leeds 0, and he has drilled in a right foot free kick from around about 22 yards. The wall was sturdy, there were so many people in the wall, but there were so many Brentford players guarding that wall as well, and somehow Toney has curled it around all of them and into the top corner. Brentford 2, Leeds 0.
It's Loftus-Cheek who's getting treatment. He's now sitting up. Thomas Souček is being helped to his feet after that clash of heads with 90 seconds remaining.
Yeah, the 2 of them look all right, Ian, which is good news.
Let's get an update from Newcastle. Will Perry.
Really good game this, but it's still goalless between Newcastle and Palace. The latest Newcastle chance from a Trippier corner. There was Cher 6 yards out, headed about an inch wide of the right-hand post. It's still 0-0.
Cheltenham have got a goal back in League One. Port Vale 2, Cheltenham 1. You're up to date on BBC Radio 5 Live. The 2 players are coming to this side of the field just to come off before they can come back on, but they look okay to continue, both having some liquid refreshment on a very warm day in the capital, with the sun continuing to shine. 0-0.
You hope that plays us a part in the game opening up second half, Ian. You know, like you say, West Ham have been quite happy to sit off, Chelsea being quite happy to keep possession without really threatening anything in the final third. You just open the second half, they get a little bit tired and the game gets tired and a little bit more stretched, and then there's more opportunities for us to talk about.
I was going to say, it won't take long the summing up at half time, will it?
I'll leave it to you, Ian.
Well, I was going to leave it to you, Tone. It's still 0-0. Back with Fabianski, all in yellow, and then to Kehrer. Very quiet atmosphere as well, not the type of atmosphere that you'd associate with a derby. Here is Cucurella. Koulibaly coming forward, rolls it away from Bowen. They've doubled up on Koulibaly down on this near side, and he was looking to try and win a corner off the shins of Sofal, and he's just played it straight out of play for a goal kick. 2 more minutes to be added on, a minimum of 2 here at Stamford Bridge. Of Chelsea 0, West Ham United 0. Chelsea, who unbeaten at Stamford Bridge in the league in 6 since Arsenal won here 4-2 back in April. They've won 3 and drawn 3, looking to respond after that defeat at Southampton in midweek. Thomas Tuchel saying, if we don't get tough, we will be punished. But at the minute, they are yet to really offer a great deal to test this West Ham United side, and it remains 0-0 as Bradford are now leading Walsall by 2-0. Still unbeaten at home in League 2 under Mark Hughes. Another goal at Norwich, Aaron Paul.
Norwich 2, Coventry City 0. This time it's Josh Sargent in on the act. Norwich playing the ball well down the left-hand side. It was pulled across the face to goal, and there was Sargent at the back stick, just to tap home past the goalkeeper. Norwich 2, Coventry 0.
Now, West Ham United have got Antonio down here.
I think Loftus-Cheek has caught him, but he's coming in from behind.
Loftus-Cheek, who remember, is on a yellow card. I mean, he puts his arm up, but he doesn't seem to look at Antonio, does he?
No, I think he'll get away with that.
There's a penalty at Nottingham Forest. Pat Murphy.
It's a penalty to Nottingham Forest. It's going to be taken by Brennan Johnson. The score is 1-0. The referee adjudicated that Kelly, the captain of Bournemouth, he did in fact handle the ball from a shot from Williams. It must have taken 5 minutes to refer it to almost everybody bar the turnstile man here at the City Ground. Finally, the decision has gone in Forest's favour. It's 1-0. Here comes Johnson. It's 2-0. He beats the keeper to the right. Forest 2, Bournemouth 0. Can't wait to see some football.
We can't wait to hear some football here at Stamford Bridge, Pat, as well. Wolves Southampton, there's been goals elsewhere. John Akers, Molyneux.
Wolves have scored. Wolves 1, Southampton 0. Daniel Podence. Ball across the box. First time, left foot, sort of stabbed it into the ground and it looped over Bazunu's leg. Southampton trail. Wolves 1, Southampton 0.
And another goal at Brentford, Jonathan O'Brien.
1 back for Leeds. Just as the 4th official was holding up the ball for stoppage time, Sinister has dispossessed Ben Mee and struck it low past Reyes. So it's Brentford 2, Leeds 1.
That's his 3rd since he arrived from Feyenoord. He scored his first goal in the Premier League to equalise against Everton in midweek. The half-time whistle sounds then here at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea 0, West Ham United 0, but a penalty at Doncaster. Charlie Slater.
Yeah, Doncaster trailing by a goal to 0, but they've got a penalty here. Lee Tomlin stood over the ball. The referee just making his final checks in stoppage time at the end of the first half. It's been all Mansfield. They should be 2-0 up. But as I say, Tomlin with a golden opportunity here to get them back level. The referee happy now for him to take this penalty spot. He puts the whistle to his mouth. Tomlin steps forwards and finds the equaliser. They'll go in level at the break. Doncaster 1, Mansfield 1.
So half-time here at Stamford Bridge. Neither side has had a shot on target. Tony.
Yeah, the game's, as you say, the weather's gorgeous. Still very, very warm. And the pitch, I'm sorry, the game has been a little bit like that. It's been slow, a little bit cumbersome. Chelsea have had possession and a lot of the possession, but mostly in front of West Ham. West Ham have been quite content to sit there and look to it them on the break, and they haven't even done that really that many times in that we're jumping up and saying, well, they look as though they're going to score off a counter-attack. So it's been Yeah, pretty average first half.
Let's hope it improves in the second half. Chelsea 0, West Ham United 0.
I'm not going to waste anybody's time, least alone you two, by asking a question about that first half. Instead, let's go somewhere where we've had 3 goals. It's half-time at Brentford. Jonathan Overend.
Yeah, Brentford 2, Leeds 1. Brentford thought they were strolling into half-time with that 2-goal lead. Both goals from Ivan Toney. The first from the penalty spot after a long VAR check, and then the second, a delicious free kick, which curled round a mispositioned wall, it has to be said, into the top corner though with such precision. It was a great dead ball afternoon for Toney, but then Leeds got one back, and how crucial could that be? Just as the ball was going up for half time, Luis Sinisterra, the Colombian, dispossessing Ben Mee, driving it low past Rea. Interesting now for the second half at Brentford 2, Leeds 1.
Half time at St James's Park. Will Parry.
Newcastle 0, Palace 0. It shouldn't be. Isak on his home debut, one-on-one with Guaita, who tried to dink him, but the Palace keeper read it, stayed on his feet. Almiron's hit the post. Joe Linton's volleyed into the side netting. A few other decent saves as well. Guaita to deny a Longstaff header, and Botman from a tight angle as well, and Pope down the other end to keep Mateta out on the turn. 18 shots in the first half. Newcastle 0, Palace 0.
That goal at Molineux in stoppage time at the end of the first half has given Wolves the lead over Southampton. John Akers.
Wolves 1, Southampton 0. Daniel Pedence right at the end of the half. Bit of a scruffy finish, but Wolves won't care. That was their 62nd shot of the season and only their 3rd goal. They'd had chances before that. Kalajdzic looked sharp, a header wide from a corner. Then he went down clutching his knee. That was a bit of a worry, but he stayed on the pitch. And Southampton's best chance was for Bella Kotchap, a free header wide from a corner. Wolves 1, Southampton 0.
Probably the longest wait for a VAR decision that I can remember was at Nottingham Forest, but you have got to half-time, Pat Murphy.
At last, I could have done the Times crossword while waiting for the referee, Michael Oliver, to make a decision. It's 2-0, by the way, to Forest. Ridiculous amount of time wasted. I reckon it was about 4 minutes. Michael Oliver went to the monitor. He spent 90 seconds looking at it, time and time again. Kelly threw himself at the shot from Williams. One of those things. Handball, definitely, in my opinion. Why the delay? Anyway, expertly converted after the long wait by Johnston, building on the superb header from Kouyaté after half an hour. Bournemouth poor, Nottingham Forest much better. They lead 2-0.
Despite the wait, Pat Murphy isn't the last to get his half-time cup of tea. That'll be you, John Southall.
Well, and there goes the half-time whistle, Steve. Good timing, 6 added on minutes. Tottenham 1, Fulham 0. Tottenham have dominated the half. The goal 5 minutes before half-time. Pierre-Emile Højbjerg started and finished the move. A 1-2 with Richarlison on the right of the area. Got the ball back, got it from under his feet and finished it into the bottom left-hand corner, second of the season. Good finish. It had been coming. Son twice went really close. Great chances. First he hit it over the bar from 14 yards. Second, brought it down on his chest and volleyed over from 5 yards out. Richarlison, Kane, Longley, Sessegnon have all gone close, and Fulham towards the end of the half, have to say, were in danger of being overrun. But it is still only the 1. Tottenham 1, Fulham 0.
And don't forget, this morning it finished Everton 0, Liverpool 0 in the Merseyside derby. The reaction to that and all of the other games across England and Scotland during Sports Report. Let's check in on the Championship then. Looks like Norwich City could end the day top of the table. Aaron Paul.
Yeah, Norwich 2, Coventry 0. Norwich very much in control here, thanks to goals from Teemu Pukki and Josh Sargent. Pukki broke the deadlock 14 minutes in with a trademark finish after a delicious pass from Marcelino Nunez. Coventry thought they'd grabbed an equaliser through Carl McFadzean midway through the half, but his volley was ruled out after a foul on the goalkeeper. And then on the stroke of half-time, Pukki fed Ramsey, who fed Josh Sargent, who buried for the second. Norwich 2, Coventry 0.
Rotherham United giving Watford plenty to think about at the New York Stadium. Half-time, Chris Coles.
Yeah, they absolutely are. Good game this as well. Rotherham 1, Watford 1. Rotherham's combative pressing and relentless pressure against a more technical Watford side, proving to be a great watch. The home side in front inside 2 minutes, a Richard Wood header. The centre-backs 4th of the season, and they had chances to double that advantage as well before Watford started playing and equalised courtesy of a beautifully struck left foot volley from Bakun Bayo. He was technically perfect. Fabulous hit, crashed into the top corner, and means we're level at Rotherham 1, Watford 1.
And it's half-time at Ewood Park for Lee Blakeman.
Blackburn 0, Bristol City 1. Tommy Conway with the only goal of a very, very dull game. Header at the back post. Great work from Weimann in the build-up. Ran half the pitch before delivering a great cross. Blackburn could have scored in the first 40 seconds. Hedges put it over from 4 yards, and that's as good as it's got. Blackburn 0, Bristol City 1.
Other Championship scores at half-time. Luton lead Wigan by a goal to 0. It's 0-0 in the game between Millwall and Cardiff City. Preston's run of clean sheets will end at 7. They don't beat the record because they trail Birmingham at home by a goal to nil at the interval, and it's Swansea 1, QPR 0. Last season's top scorer Joel Pirro scoring 5 minutes after missing a penalty. Into League One, Portsmouth as it stands will end the day top of the table. They're at home to Peterborough United. Sahel Sahi.
Yeah, half-time here, Steve. Portsmouth 1, Peterborough 1. A fast start with Peterborough taking the lead after 5 minutes, pouncing on a defensive error. Jack Marriott was quickest to react and he scored. It could have been 2 for the visitors. Johnson Clark-Harris, he lashed wide. Portsmouth, they fought their way back, and after near misses equalised through Dane Scarlett, a good old-fashioned diving header direct from a free kick. Half-time, Portsmouth 1, Peterborough 1.
So Portsmouth on course to end the day top of the table. Then it would be Ipswich, who are currently drawing 0-0 at Accrington, and behind them Derby County, who are 2-0 up at home to Plymouth at the break. Other scores: Bolton are 2-1 up against Charlton at half-time. It's Bristol Rovers 1, Morecambe 1. Cambridge United 2-0 up against Lincoln. No goals in the game between Exeter and MK Dons. Wickham down to 10 men inside 10 minutes, but they lead 1-0 at half-time at Fleetwood. Shrewsbury are also a goal up at half-time at Forest Green Rovers. It's 0-0 in the game between Oxford United and Burton. Port Vale 2, Cheltenham 1. Sheffield Wednesday trail 1-0 to Devante Cole's goal for Barnsley in the South Yorkshire Derby. Into League 2, our feature game at the Keep Moat. Doncaster Rovers Mansfield. Charlie Slater.
Doncaster 1, Mansfield 1. Doncaster far happier with that scoreline than Mansfield, who took the lead 15 minutes in a brilliant Ollie Clark volley from the edge of the box that found the top corner. Mansfield should have doubled their lead with less than 5 left at the end of the first half when Lapsley slipped Bowery in. His shot blocked onto the post. How it didn't cross the line, I don't know. Doncaster level though in stoppage time through Lee Tomlin's penalty, awarded after Hawkins bundled through the back of Biggins. Mansfield manager Nigel Cloughs looked happier. Half-time, Doncaster 1, Mansfield 1.
Other half-times for you, we'll start with Leyton Orient, who are on course to make it 6 wins from 7. They lead Tranmere Rovers by a goal to nil. Bradford City, Mark Hughes' team, 2-0 up against Walsall. It's 1-1 in the game between Carlisle and Rochdale. Rochdale, who changed managers earlier this week. Hartlepool United haven't won a game yet this season. They lead 1-0 at Colchester at the break. It's Crewe 1, Stevenage 0. Gillingham, Swindon, that's 0-0, but Gillingham are down to 10 men in the first half there. Also 0-0 in the game between Newport and Grimsby. Level at 1-1 in the games between Northampton and Barrow and Salford and Crawley. Stockport County lead AFC Wimbledon by a goal to nil, and it is Sutton United 1, Harrogate Town 1. Let's take you into Scotland. Dundee United have had a nightmare start to the season at Motherwell. Connie McLaughlin.
Yes, they have, and most of the home fans will be sighing Kevin Van Veen's name, to be honest, Steve, because he failed to take advantage of a penalty after one of the United defenders handled in the box. Although we're having a bit of confab actually in the media box about actually what happened there, because it wasn't particularly clear from where we were sitting, but that's what we're being told. It was a handball. Not that it matters anyway, because he didn't do anything with it. Van Veen, he scored 6 in the last 4 games, so you would have put your mortgage on him scoring that, but instead he hit it straight at the goalkeeper. That had just come actually after Motherwell had a shot cleared off the line, and then Van Veen himself hit the bar a couple of minutes after that. So you've got that feeling, is it going to be one of those days for Kevin Van Veen and for Motherwell, who remember are eyeing 3rd place in the Scottish Premiership. At half-time it's Motherwell 0, Dundee United 0.
Well, if it is Dundee United's day, it'd be the first of the season yet to win a game all season. Other half-time scores for you: Hibs lead 10-man Kilmarnock by a goal to nil. Livingston are also 1-0 up at home to Hearts. Ross County 0, Aberdeen 0, and St Johnstone 1, St Mirren 0. Remember earlier Celtic beat Rangers in the Old Firm derby 4-0 to go 5 points clear. At the top, Super League, Leeds Rhinos, Castleford Tigers. That vital game at the end of the Super League season. Dave Woods.
Doesn't feel very vital. Leeds 0, Castleford 0. It has been absolutely awful. More handling errors in the first half from both sides than you'd expect to see in the whole season. Whoever wins is in the playoffs next week. Whoever loses, that's their season over. Looks like they both fancy an end of season party tonight. It's Leeds 0, Castleford 0.
We've reached half-time in that women's rugby union friendly between England and the USA. Sarah Orchard.
Yeah, England 33, USA 0. 5 tries for England, who've really had to grind through the gears, but a brace for Jess Breach, but pick of the bunch has to be the try scored in the corner by Exeter's Claudia McDonald. Told earlier this year her career could be over with a neck injury. She's now fighting for a place at the World Cup. Half-time, England 33, USA 0.
Let's check in on final say at the 100. The women's final is up first. Oval Invincibles, Southern Brave. Atif Nawaz.
Well, the Oval Invincibles are very serious about their title defence. This is their second consecutive women's final in the 100, and they are very much in control against the Southern Brave at the moment. The score is 84 of 79 deliveries. 5 wickets down now. Just a moment to go. The 5th wicket falling. Alice Capsey has now got 2 wickets to her name. They look like they're going to be heading towards a total of 110, possibly 115, maybe as far as that. Anything beyond that, they'll be very, very pleased with. But right now, having decided to bat first, they'll be very underwhelmed with the result.
Thank you, Atif. Live on 5 Sports Extra and BBC Two right now as well. Max Verstappen is on pole for the Dutch Grand Prix. There is full commentary tomorrow on 5 Sports Extra. We are not far away at all from the second half starting up and down the country and in Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland as well. We'll be back at Stamford Bridge for Chelsea versus West Ham after the news with Jill Mackenzie.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
There are fresh fears about energy supplies to Europe this winter because the Nord Stream 1 gas pipeline is being closed indefinitely. Gazprom, the Russian company that runs it, has blamed an oil leak. Meanwhile, the First Lady of Ukraine has urged people in the UK who were worried about their energy bills to remember the Ukrainian victims of Russia's invasion. Olena Zelenska told the BBC that prices were rising in her country too, and people were dying. The funeral's taking place in Moscow of Mikhail Gorbachev, the last leader of the Soviet Union, who died on Tuesday. He's not being given a state funeral, but hundreds of mourners have filed past his open coffin today. And in the last couple of minutes, Reuters has reported that NASA engineers in Florida are considering calling off the relaunch of the new rocket, which is hoped will eventually blast an uncrewed test flight around the moon. It was initially due to take off on Monday, but had to be delayed. There have been reports today of a hydrogen leak. We'll keep you up to date in the news here on 5 Live.
This is 5 Live Sport with Steve Crossman.
Let's get more on today's racing at Haydock with John Hunt.
Undoubtedly, Steve, the star of the show today was Minzal, a devastatingly easy winner of today's Betfair Sprint Cup. He won by over 3 lengths in the hands of Jim Crowley to give Owen Burrows, his trainer in Lambourne, a second top-level win of the year. Minzal beat Emirati Anna and Rohan in great style and now heads to Ascot for Champions Day, the big sprint there in mid-October. The favourite for the race was Naval Crown, trained by Charlie Appleby. He only beat 1 home, very disappointing indeed. But earlier today, Charlie Appleby did have cause for joy as Naval Power, his star emerging 2-year-old, won his 4th consecutive race in the Ascendant Stakes that opened the card today, and he now heads for the Royal Lodge Stakes. Exactly 3 weeks' time, that race. Another stepping stone for him, and that's at Newmarket, and we'll be there for it.
Andy Murray and Jack Draper both went out of the US Open overnight. Let's go to Flushing Meadows and join Russell Fuller, because in this historic year, Russell, you've still got 2 Brits left.
2 down, 2 to go in the singles, and it's the turn of the Wimbledon semi-finalist Cameron Norrie against the French Open quarter-finalist Holger Rune. First up, the Dane is just 19 and made his Grand Slam debut in New York last year. While Norrie has the experience and is yet to drop a set in 2 rounds, they'll be followed by Dan Evans against the 2014 champion Marin Cilic, with Rafael Nadal and Iga Swiatek also on the schedule on the first day of this Labour Day weekend.
Teams leaving tunnels all across the UK. The fastest goal service around. Sports report to come and full commentary of Aston Villa versus Manchester City. But let's hope there's plenty of drama between now and then. At Stamford Bridge, Tony Pulis is with Ian Dennis.
Well, certainly hoping for more drama in the second half, because there was absolutely nothing in the first 45 minutes. Chelsea 0, West Ham United 0. Not a shot on target from either side. Neither team has made a change at half-time. I'll run through the 2 sets of players for you. Mendy in goal for Chelsea, Koulibaly, Thiago Silva, debut for Wesley Fofana. Wing-backs right and left, respectively, Reece James and Cucurella, Kovacic and Gallagher, and Loftus-Cheek in the midfield, Sterling and Pulisic. As we're back underway, the game restarts with Chelsea playing from left to right as we look in their royal blue shirts and shorts and white socks against a West Ham United side in their predominantly claret shirts and sky blue shorts, and they line up with Fabianski in goal, a back 4 of Soufal, Kehrer, Zuma and Emerson, Rice and Soucek, Bowen, Paquetá and Fornals, and Antonio as the lone striker. So West Ham United are attacking the shed end here in the sunshine at Stamford Bridge. You're listening to BBC Radio 5 Live as Bowen picks it up now on that right hand side. Cucurella coming back at him, but Bowen glides away from 2 Chelsea players and cuts it back, and actually required Loftus-Cheek to get the ball away. Played back in with some pace by Soufal on the right, and then Cucurella sweeps it to safety. But that was a rare foray from West Ham, Tony Pulis.
Yeah, good start to the second half. Let's hope that that's for all of us now to enjoy, because like I say, I think first half, if you're looking at the game, West Ham were quite happy to drop deep. Chelsea were quite happy to play it backwards, square sidewards, and try and pick their pockets, which never happened really. So you just hope there is some life in the game.
Fornals, Antonio rolls away from Thiago, and then Thiago bites back at him into the challenge, and the referee, Andrew Madley, gives the free kick for West Ham.
Yeah, I'd like to see that one again, whether he caught him or not.
It was, at first, probably didn't he?
Did he?
You don't think?
Debatable.
I'll go with the manager, who has had 1,137 games in charge of 10 clubs during his 30-year career.
You're making me feel older. Not old, but older.
Do you remember who your first game was against?
Yep. I was going back to Bournemouth, Preston away.
Yeah.
On the AstroTurf when John Beck was manager.
Yeah. 15th of August, 1992.
Oh, my goodness.
Do you remember the result?
Yep. 0-0. The story of my career.
I wouldn't mind, I've got 1-1 written down.
It might have been actually 1-1.
2.5 minutes into the second half. Tony Pulis is with us here on 5 Live. Let's get an update from Wolves. John Akers.
Sorry, I'm still giggling at that. Wolves 1, Southampton 0. But they're signing the striker. The big man's had to go off with that knee problem I talked about. He's been replaced by Guedes. It's Wolves 1, Southampton 0.
0-0 here. Here is Emerson. Waits. Goes back. Zuma spreads play out towards the far side. Headed on by Soufal. Koulibaly plays it to Cucurella, inside to Kovacic, midway through the Chelsea half. Gallagher makes a run out towards the left-hand side. Instead he goes along the ground and forward to Pulisic. Gallagher has stayed wide on that left-hand side. Cucurella on the overlap. Gallagher doesn't opt to use him. Now he turns and plays the ball back out to Cucurella. Oxford lead Burton by a goal to 0. Here is Pulisic outside the penalty area. Shot comes in from Fofana from distance, long-range effort, well wide, goal kick.
If he scores from there, you're looking for a new goalkeeper. But it's better play from Chelsea as well. You've got Gallagher running from midfield, trying to break the back line of West Ham. Much more positive than it was in the first half.
Let's get an update in the Championship. Aaron Paul at Carrow Road.
Norwich 2, Coventry City 0, but Coventry with 2 big chances. First, Victor Gyökeres, a half-time substitute, played in through on goal. He tried to place his effort, but fired into the legs of Tim Krul. Then, Fankaty Debo winning the ball at the edge of the area. He's drilled the show low and just wide of the post. Norwich 2, Coventry 0.
West Ham hit a high ball forward. Antonio runs into the shoulder of Thiago. Bounces off him, falls in a rather theatrical manner. Thiago doesn't even break stride, just keeps on running, and the referee tells Antonio to get back to his feet.
It's called experience, Ian. And that's what Thiago's got. He's just blocked his run, really.
Here is Pulisic. Out to James on the stretch, enters the penalty area. Back to Pulisic. Pulisic dispossessed by Paquetá, who did ever so well to take it off his toes. Just as he's shaping to shoot, to pull the left foot back, in nips the Brazilian to thwart him.
It's a much brighter. Oh my goodness! I was just going to say it was a much brighter start. We've had more action in this first couple of minutes than what we did in the first 45 minutes. But like I say, it looks as though now Kovacic and Loftus-Cheek are sitting as 2 holding midfield players, and Gallagher's pushed further forward. So we'll support the front 2 now a lot more.
Here is Sterling. Turn of speed from Sterling. No free kick in the eyes of the referee, and David Moyes wants his West Ham players to come forward. Paquetá goes to ground way too easily. Referee just waves that one away. And now it's with James to Sterling, right hand side of the penalty area. Sterling's low ball diverted behind by the left boot of Zuma. Northampton have got a second goal. Northampton 2, Barrow 1. You're up to date. That's the latest score in League Two.
Well, actually, there's a crowd in your Ian.
There's a game breaking out too. Corner kick for Chelsea in front of the Matthew Harding stand that Gallagher is going to crumb across to take it. They're playing in their royal blue shirts and shorts from left to right as we look. West Ham once again have every claret shirt back in their own penalty area, so it's extremely crowded. Corner kick on the Chelsea right, should be an outswinger from the England international. Left arm aloft, right footed again, didn't beat the first man.
It's been so disappointing. The set plays been so disappointing.
If you had a tenner on every time the corner didn't beat the first man, you'd have enough money to buy out Todd Burley.
I thought you were going to say to take me out for dinner.
I'd never have enough money for that. Here is Gallagher to Sterling, little flick, cleared, free kick. Let's go to Brentford. Jonathan Overend.
Still Brentford 2, Leeds 1. Lively start to this second half, including a chance for Patrick Bamford on again as a second half substitute for Leeds, but he just curled it wide. 2-1 Brentford.
7 minutes into the second half. Chelsea 0, West Ham United 0. Free kick to Chelsea midway through the West Ham half, and West Ham have a line of shirts outside the penalty area to offer as much protection to Fabianski as possible. It's James and Cucurella, the two wing-backs, who stand over this free kick. Stevenage have equalised at Gresty Road in League One. Crewe 1, Stevenage 1. Cucurella and James. It's James, floats it in. Head it away by Zuma, behind for a corner.
I didn't see any conviction from the forwards to get in there anyway, and it was a good ball in. But again, you know, there's not Chelsea players who break their back to get in between the goals, and that's where they're going to score a goal. You've got to get people in between the posts when you're crossing balls, whether it's set plays or crossing from wide positions. Got to get people in between the goal, mate.
Corner kick to Chelsea, far side the left as they play from left to right. Gallagher swings this one in. Fabianski went to punch it, might have caught his own player. There's a West Ham player down at the moment. The referee, though, has played the advantage. Fornals releases Antonio, picks it up inside his own half, over the halfway line. He's got to try and get past 4 Chelsea players. Gallagher was brilliant. I can tell you there's a VAR check at St James's Park. We're going to go there now. Will Perry.
And it's a goal ruled out. You can hear the boos at St James's Park because Newcastle thought they were 1-0 up from a Tyrick Mitchell own goal, but a foul on the keeper. It was Mitchell who, to me, looked like he pushed Willock into Guaita. Guaita's still down, getting some treatment, but it's still goalless. Goal ruled out.
Now we've just had James and Antonio squaring up to each other. They were clearly saying words, and then it resulted in a bit of a shoving contest between the two. This is more like it. This is more like a derby game. And there's a goal now, another one at Nottingham Forest for Pat Murphy.
And it's a goal for Bournemouth from Philip Billings from 25 yards. An absolute thunderbolt. Left foot, left Henderson helpless. A goal totally at variance with the poor display Bournemouth have showed so far. Superb goal. Forest 2, Bournemouth 1.
Antonio's been booked and Reece James will be going in the book too. Let's get an update from Tottenham. John Southall.
Tottenham 1, Fulham 0. Should be 2 though. Mbappé dispossessed by Richarlison on the right. His ball picked out Dyer 8 yards out over the bar. Tottenham 1, Fulham 0.
Northampton 3, Barrow 1 is the latest score in League 2. Now it feels like a derby.
Well, let's hope it continues. That's what we need, That's what we've turned up for, to have a proper game.
Another goal elsewhere. It's in Blackburn. Lee Blakeman.
Another one for Bristol City. They're 2 up. Narky Wells on the end of a Vyman through ball. Edge of the area. Great finish. Bottom corner. Blackburn 0. Bristol City 2.
That would take Bristol City unbeaten in 8. As they're leading 2-0 at Ewood Park. Goalless here at Stamford Bridge. It finished Everton 0, Liverpool 0 in the Old Firm. Celtic beat Rangers 4-0 earlier. 5 points clear now at the top of the Scottish Premiership. Tuesday night we'll be back at Celtic Real Madrid. Coverage in the Champions League from 7. Ajax Rangers is the early game on Wednesday. Coverage from 5:30 and then to Naples from Amsterdam for Napoli against Liverpool. That, I would imagine, all three will be extremely atmospheric venues. Certainly picked up here inside Stamford Bridge now. Still goalless though. Sterling. Chelsea playing from left to right. Now it's with Loftus-Cheek. Inside, Kovacic, first time ball, laid off by Sterling. Gallagher takes over, out towards James. Gallagher on the overlap. James sends over a deep cross into the penalty area. Over the head of Soufal. Down by the corner flag left-hand side. Cucurella back towards Pulisic. Pulisic plays it back. Kovacic unmarked, just in from the touchline. Level the area to Cucurella. West Ham have everybody back though. David Moyes still making his side extremely difficult to break down so far. Chelsea having to be patient. Loftus-Cheek using the width, left, back out to this near side, the right once more for James. Just lack a focal point, don't they, in attack?
Well, everybody's coming to the ball, Ian. We had that couple of minutes there where people were actually opening their shoulders and making runs in behind. Even though it's tight areas, even around the edge of the box, as long as you're pulling off and making those little darting runs across, you'll stretch West Ham. There'll be more space for you to play then.
Rochdale are back in front under their new manager Jim Bentley. Carlisle 1, Rochdale 2. Sterling lays it off. Interception from Declan Rice to bring it away. Rice has done well. Paquetá rolls. Return ball to Rice. Break on for West Ham. Rice now picks out the run of Bowen. Bowen closed down by Cucurella. The left wing back tracked the run of Bowen. Central area, got the block challenge in. Let's go to Will Perry at St James's.
Newcastle just had a free kick. It's gone behind for a corner. I tell you what, Alan Shearer will not be happy about that ruled out goal. Watch Match of the Day later, because that to me looks like Mitchell has pushed Willock into the goalkeeper and the goal has been ruled out. Went to VAR, no goal, goalless.
Match of the Day tonight, BBC 1, 25 past 10. 0-0 here at Stamford Bridge. Sterling stands still. Passes the ball on the inside. Thomas Tuchel with his baseball cap down below, getting a little bit animated. Loftus-Cheek back out to James, miscontrols the ball elsewhere in the Premier League. Brentford leading Leeds United by 2-1. Newcastle 0, Crystal Palace 0 as we've just heard. Forest lead Bournemouth 2-1. Tottenham still leading Fulham by 1-0. And Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, Southampton 0. They're the latest scores after the Merseyside derby finished goalless at Goodison. Plymouth have just got a goal back at Derby in League One. Derby 2, Plymouth 1.
Again, you've got everybody coming to the ball. You've got nobody opening their shoulders up and pulling off defenders and creating space then, so you can play in those pockets. The pockets are too tight at the moment. West Ham have got them well covered, well organised, but you need that threat.
Here is Loftus-Cheek out to Fofana, the debutant. One of many that have contributed to Chelsea spending £271 million in this transfer window. Let's get an update from the rugby. Sarah Orchard.
It's England 40, USA 0, 52 minutes on the clock. A second try for Claudia MacDonald, and England 6th in this World Cup warm-up. And Saracens' Leanne Infante, she's on at scrum half. She's really sped up that England attack. It's England 40, USA 0.
After Sports Report with Steve Crossman, we'll have the results and the reaction. We've got commentary from Villa Park, Aston Villa, Manchester City at 5:30. As just getting a shot of Aubameyang watching on. They reckon that he'll be ready with his mask on to protect that broken jaw next week, as Antonio is adjudged to have caught Thiago.
Well, Thiago's run across Antonio. Antonio's just passed him out of the way, but Thiago is the one who actually stepped across his line again. Let's have a look at this. Whether he's pulled his arm out and caught him or not, I'm not sure.
Antonio is on a yellow card, but I don't think that the referee is going to take any action against him, as Thiago is helped to his feet, holding his left ear. He brought his arm around and caught him, but...
it's all right, get on with it.
If
we want to keep 11 against 11, Ian.
If you were a ref, do you think how many yellow cards would you show?
Not many. Here's the changes, which is needed.
The changes. Whilst the changes happen, we are going to go elsewhere. And it's a goal of Brentford, Jonathan O'Brien.
3-1 Brentford, hat-trick for Ivan Toney, but it's an extraordinary goal. Ball over the top. Meslier comes racing out of his box to try to intercept it, which he does successfully, but the ball then only lands to a Brentford player and the play continues with the ball on the ground. That player rounds Meslier, who's way out of his box. It goes to Tony, who then chips it majestically over the hapless goalkeeper and the defenders chasing back on the line into the goal. It really was something. You won't see another goal like that. Brentford 3, Leeds 1.
0-0 here. There's no foul on Loftus-Cheek. The two changes. Broja has come on for Gallagher. Signed a new deal this week till 2028. Paquetá meanwhile rolls it into Antonio with his back to goal in the penalty area. Loftus-Cheek gets the block in, runs behind for a corner kick, and Mason Mount has come on for Pulisic. So they're the Chelsea changes. Meanwhile, 0-0, West Ham have a corner.
Now let's see the difference, because I think Moisey will be well set up, offset plays. If they get the quality in there, they're a big team, and they'll be very difficult to defend against.
Corner kick on this near side for West Ham United, still goalless. In it goes, out towards the far post, comes off Fofana, off his shin and behind for another corner kick. Forest Green 0, Shrewsbury 2, Carlisle 1, Rochdale 3. Morecambe now lead Bristol Rovers by 2-1. Salford are back in front, they're leading Crawley 2-1, also in League 2. And in the same division at Valley Parade, Bradford City 2, Walsall 1. Michael Flynn's team have a goal back. Doncaster 1, Mansfield 2 will go to Charlie Slater in a moment. In comes Fornells with the corner kick, fisted out by Mendy. Fired back in on the volley from Bowen, great technique, and Mendy with a flying save away to his left-hand side.
Absolutely fantastic strike from Bowen, fantastic. I thought the keeper could have caught it, but there we are.
Away to his left, he turned it out for a corner kick, another corner kick for West Ham United. Best spell of the game so far for David Moyes' team. Corner on that far side, comes off their head, and it's towards Rice, and eventually it's bundled in by Antonio on the goal line. West Ham United lead. Delirium in the West Ham United end. It was a real scramble. It's Chelsea 0, West Ham United 1. They've soaked up the pressure and now they've scored.
Three corners with real quality on them, Ian, and they've ended up scoring a goal from it.
The corner kick came in. It was a looping header. The keeper patted it away. Rice put it back in, and Antonio almost on the goal line. Just had to guide it in. It was a really scruffy goal. Just looking at it again, whether the last touch actually came up. No, it was Antonio. It was Antonio. Is there a VAR check? Well, there is for every goal, but at the minute play is yet to restart. So whilst this is happening, we're going to get news of that goal at Doncaster. Charlie Slater.
Nearly an hour gone here now. Mansfield back in front. George Maris firing brilliant into the net from 18 yards out. Nearly 3,000 travelling Mansfield fans going mad behind that goal. Mansfield deservedly back in front. Doncaster 1, Mansfield 2.
We'll stay in Yorkshire from south to west. Dave Woods watching the rugby at Leeds.
Leeds 0, Castleford 8. We waited 51 minutes for the first point. It came from the boots of Paul McShane with a penalty, and then almost immediately Castleford broke. Jake Mamo from 30 yards. McShane's goal again. It's Leeds 0, Castleford 8.
And you might well have heard the cheers and the celebrations from the West Ham United end, because the goal stands after a VAR check as we go to Molineux. John Akers.
Wolves 1, Southampton 0. Southampton have hit the crossbar. Che Adams, who just had a goal ruled out for handball with a header, sent the ball against the bar with a header from 6 yards. Wolves 1, Southampton 0.
Cucurella with a cross. Chelsea haven't lost back-to-back games in the Premier League under Thomas Tuchel. As the ball is played forward to Broja. Broja battles for it, edge of the area, headed out by Kehrer. West Ham defending very stoutly, and Broja stabs it goalwards, runs into Fabianski. Not too sure he had full control of the ball, but you can hear now the urgency from the crowd, desperate for Chelsea to get forward. We'll stay in West London. Jonathan Overend at Brentford.
Potentially penalty for Leeds. Will there be a VAR check on a shove in the back? Well, Leeds definitely think so. Somerville's in off the bench. He's been bundled over by Hickey. It hasn't been given, but no surprise at all if the referee goes to check the monitor. Meanwhile, Jesse Marsh, just a few yards away from me, is absolutely losing it down by the touchline. He's having to be restrained by the assistant. Brentford 3, Leeds 1, it remains for now.
Charlie Cresswell, who's on loan from Leeds United. Millwall have lost their last 3 without scoring, but he scored. Millwall 1, Cardiff 0 in the Championship. Chelsea, though, are behind here. And now it's with Fofana. The West Ham United fans are making all the noise. You know, in their last 19 visits to Stamford Bridge, they've only scored 9 goals. That goal from Antonio takes them into double figures, and they're 1-0 up. And David Moyes, we said before that dreadful record he's got away from home as a manager at either Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool or Manchester United could well be coming to an end here today at McDermott Park. St Johnstone 2, St Mirren 0 in the Scottish Premiership.
Ian, they're playing a lot of balls through the middle of the pitch instead of going wide. They've got to stretch this West Ham back four. They've got to stretch them.
Another goal at Nottingham Forest, Pat Murphy.
Equaliser for Bournemouth from a corner. Forest continue to be vulnerable against corners. Headed across, and Solanke, splendid right foot shot on the turn, makes it Forest 2, Bournemouth 2.
Here at Stamford Bridge, West Ham United are leading by a 1-0. Chelsea, though, with Sterling looking for a through ball, cleared by Souček, rebounds, goes out towards James, edge of the area, feeds it inside, Loftus-Cheek prods it out towards Fofana. James is with him. Here he is, the England international, turns level with the penalty area on the right, back inside to Loftus-Cheek, to Fofana, back towards Loftus-Cheek. Loftus-Cheek cleared by Sofal. There's been a sending off, but to who to? Jonathan Overend at Brentford.
The Leeds manager has gone. Jesse Marsh has been given a red card. I told you he was losing it down there on the touchline. I know managers do week in, week out, but sorry, Tony, well done to the officials here for refusing to take abuse, and they've issued the red card for the Leeds manager, who has gone, and it's Brentford 3, Leeds 1, and that wasn't a penalty, by the way, that he was complaining about.
Thank you, Jonathan. Well, it's certainly livening up now in this second half on 5 Live. Here is James. Chelsea looking for an equaliser. James level the penalty area, plays the ball back to Loftus-Cheek. West Ham, though, still keeping their shape. Tony Pulis.
Yeah, the goal spurs you on. I'll tell you who's done really well since he's come on, and he hasn't had many touches, but Mount has kept turning and stretching West Ham, and he's pushing them back, and they're now getting some more pockets either to play through the middle or play wide. I think we've got to stop this, Ian. People going down and then the referee stopping the game. You know, wait until the ball goes out and then do it, because it's becoming, he'll jump up in a minute, there'll be no problems with him. It's just killed the game.
Yeah.
Killed the game again. You know, something's got to be done, whether it's managers, referees or whatever, but you've got to stop this going on.
Paquetá actually has just been told to leave the field of play for him to get treatment. Let's get an update from Tottenham. John Southall.
Tottenham 1, Fulham 0, full throttle here now. Chances, Mitrovic, 20-yarder saved by Lloris at the other end. Sessegnon left of the area, there was Leno, a full stretch, and Son with a deflected shot, patted away by the Fulham keeper. Willian and James both on for their Fulham debuts. Tottenham 1, Fulham 0.
You're listening to BBC Radio 5 Live. We've got commentary to come from Aston Villa, Manchester City at 5:30 with John Murray and Michael Brown. After Sports Report, we'll bring you the results and the reaction throughout Sports Report, and then 6:06 to follow, and then 2 more commentaries tomorrow in 5 Live's Premier League Sunday. Brighton, Leicester at 2, to be followed by Manchester United, Arsenal at 4:30. Chelsea, only the second time in the last 28 seasons that they've lost 2 of their opening 5 Premier League games, but they're behind here again for what could be a 3rd defeat. Mount to Cucurella, back then to Koulibaly, inside now towards Thiago, centre circle of the West Ham half, hits it direct, headed out by Kehrer. Bowen turns, runs forward. Bowen has done well over the halfway line, just shows too much to Koulibaly, who goes all the way back to Mendy.
See, the ball goes out to Cucurella, it's 1 against 1, and his first touch is backwards. What Chelsea need now is someone who's going to actually front up a defender, take him on, take him out of the game, and then put crosses into the box, because they're going to find it ever so difficult to play through them, because West Ham now are really tucked in, really narrow and tight across the pitch.
Here is Loftus-Cheek. Little touch from Fofana. James back to Loftus-Cheek once again. Spreads play to Cucurella. Jumping in the air with Soufal, then ducked underneath it and allowed it to go out of play for a throw. As the ball goes out of play, and it'll be a West Ham throw over on that far side. You're listening to 5 Live. Throw from the right-hand side. Soufal goes further forward. Cucurella, Rice just sitting there, always very, very effective. Let's get an update from the 100. Atif Nawaz.
Well, the Southern Brave have finished on 101 for 7, which is a below par total here in the final. The Oval Invincibles bowled and fielded superbly. They're on their way back out for the second innings. They'll be heavy favourites to defend their title successfully.
Thank you, Atif. Paquetá comes forward. Chelsea are going to make another change. Chilwell and Havertz are going to be coming on. It will mean that they've still got one more opportunity to bring on another change. I think Benrahma's going to be coming on. Havertz and Chilwell. I think that they're going to go to a back 4 now. Chelsea with Chilwell maybe coming on. We'll see. First player to come off is Loftus-Cheek.
Yeah, what they've got to do, Ian, they've got to really stretch this game now, both sides of the pitch. They've got to have someone wide with their feet on the touchline, both sides, just to open the pitch up, because West Ham are so tight and narrow now. They're not going to get through the middle of them, Ian.
It's a like-for-like change. So Chilwell has come on for Cucurella, and then the other change was Kai Havertz coming on, and that was for, well, at first I thought it was going to be Ruben Loftus-Cheek, but then they changed it to Kovacic. So Loftus-Cheek has stayed on. Let's get an update from Blackburn. Lee Blakeman.
Blackburn back in it. Blackburn 1, Bristol City 2. Through ball. Tyrese Dolan on as a sub. Fired it in from 12 yards. 20 to go. Blackburn 1, Bristol City 2.
West Ham United lead by a goal to nil. Brentford 2, Leeds United 1. Newcastle 0, Crystal Palace 0. Nottingham Forest 2, Bournemouth 0. Bournemouth have come from 2-0 down. Tottenham still lead Fulham 1-0. Wolves 1, Southampton 0. Commentary to come from Villa Park. You're listening to BBC Radio 5 Live. And West Ham United have a goal kick. Benrahma waits to come on here. Goal at Portsmouth, Sahel Sahi.
Portsmouth were behind, they now lead Peterborough by 2-1. And Dane Scarlett with his second of the afternoon. A fine finish, Portsmouth 2, Peterborough 1.
Benrahma getting his final instructions from David Moyes for West Ham United as they look to continue with this mini revival to go 4 unbeaten. Soufal clears. He's hooked that. Might actually fall quite kindly for Fornals, left-hand side of the centre circle. He loses out though. Mounts forward, ball goes astray. Zuma tidies up and plays it to this near side. And it's with Emerson to Paquetá on the halfway line. Back towards Emerson, who runs forward on this left. He's got 2 blue shirts as he wins a throw. No, last touch was actually off him, and it will be a Chelsea throw. Let's get the team news from Villa Park. John Murray.
Maybe surprisingly just one change apiece from the midweek teams. Villa bring back Douglas Luiz for Buendia, so neither Buendia nor Coutinho in the team. New signing Bednarek to substitute. For the champions, it's De Bruyne in, Alvarez on the bench, as is the former Villa captain Jack Grealish.
Thank you, John. Michael Brown joining John for commentary at 5:30. The goal scorer Antonio is coming off. His first goal in the Premier League this season. He had scored against Viborg in Europe. Benrahma replaces Antonio. West Ham still lead by 1-0 with 16 minutes remaining. Another goal at Blackburn. Lee Blakeman.
Blackburn 1, Bristol City 3. There were 3 shots on goal in quick succession. I think it's Narky Wells' effort which is being credited by the referee. Either way, the 2-goal cushion restored. Blackburn 1, Bristol City 3.
Here, offside. Free kick. It'll be to Chelsea. And now it's with James is going to take it. 16 minutes remain on BBC Radio 5 Live. Brentford are leading Leeds United by 3-1. Newcastle and Crystal Palace remains goalless. Nottingham Forest 2, Bournemouth 2. Tottenham 1, Fulham 0, Wolves 1, Southampton 0. Latest scores. A penalty now at Doncaster. Charlie Slater.
Aiken steps up and scores for Mansfield Town. Doncaster 1, Mansfield 3. Brilliant penalty, only awarded because Lapsley was bundled to the ground. Stags looking for their first away win of the season. They're on course to get it 3-1.
Chelsea are attacking. West Ham, though, working very, very hard. Ball into the penalty area. Havertz is there. The goalkeeper had lost it, and that was a brilliant clearance inside his 6-yard area by Zuma.
Yeah, it's a great ball in by Sterling. They're quite fortunate there, West Ham, to get away from it.
Out of play it goes for a throw over on that far side. West Ham United. What would be 3 precious points here at Stamford Bridge. Ball forward. Up towards Chilwell. Chilwell! How has he got that in? From the acutest of angles, Ben Chilwell, the substitute, somehow left-hand side of the goal, has just steered the ball in. It was so tight, but his touch was so important. And Chelsea have levelled through an unlikely source.
It was an absolute fantastic pass forward behind the West Ham back four. The goalkeeper has got caught in between here, whether to come or whether not to. It's gone through his legs. It's a very poor goal to concede, to be honest. But a team that's defended so well all game.
The ball was played high. He spins away. Not quite obviously parallel, but he's right down by the byline, left of goal, and he's touched it, and it's rolling goalwards, and then it just goes over the goal line.
He touches it through his legs, I think, Ian.
Chelsea have equalised. Exeter City are leading MK Dons by 1-0. From one St James's Park to another. Will Perry.
Newcastle 0, Palace 0. We've got 15 to play here. 2 excellent saves. One from Nick Pope. Edouard wriggled his way through 3 Newcastle defenders, denied by the right leg of Pope, and Murphy down the other end, kept out excellently by Guaita. 31 shots. It's goalless.
Crawley have equalised at Salford City. Salford 2, Crawley Town 2. Newport County 0, Grimsby Town 1 is another latest score in League 2. Crewe 1, Stevenage 2 is the latest from Gresty Road. And I think that's it. You're up to date with the goals as they're going. Fleetwood, in fact, have equalised. Fleetwood 1, Wycombe 1. Latest scores elsewhere. As you're listening to BBC Radio 5 Live, Sheffield Wednesday 0, Barnsley 2. So Barnsley in the South Yorkshire derby have got a second at Hillsborough. Bowen sent away, 1-1 here at 5 Live, and thankfully the game has improved in this second half, Tony.
No, it's been much better. There's better chances both sides, or both ends really, and a lot quicker. The game has quickened up, and I think it's by bringing the players on that he's brought on, especially Chelsea ones, who were prepared to run forward, take people on and run forward.
Bowen with a cross right hand side, headed out by Fofana for Chelsea, 1-1. Break though for Chelsea. Sterling couldn't get the touch. Soufal with the clearance. Downward header by Mason Mount. Goes straight towards Kehrer. He plays it forward to Soucek. Now towards Paquetá. Looks for the run of Benrahma. Gliding across is Thiago with a back pass then towards Edouard Mendy. Mendy will switch play. Let's get an update from England-Austria, that Women's World Cup qualifier. Shojo Saka.
It is the first outing for the Lionesses since they were crowned European champions 34 days ago. They need just a draw in Austria today to book their place at next summer's World Cup. Serena Wiegmann expects the job done today. 5 minutes on the clock. Austria 0, England 0.
West Ham United defending, deal with the Chelsea attack. Kehrer wins a goal kick.
Ian, there's no secret. The way they've upped the game is that they've been playing forward and running forward. Instead of coming out, playing backwards, square, sidewards, they've got in the pockets, they've opened themselves up, they've got people up front now who are running up the sides of people, playing forward and running forward, and creating much more pressure for West Ham to deal with.
That's the voice of Tony Pulis. This is the voice of John Southall, where there's been another goal at Tottenham.
Surely game over. Tottenham 2, Fulham 0. Sessegnon persevered down the left-hand side, played it across to Harry Kane, 5 yards out. He does not miss those. Tottenham 2, Fulham 0.
Tottenham will remain unbeaten. Oxford United lead Burton by 2-1. It's now Derby County 2, Plymouth Argyle 2, and you're up to date with the goals elsewhere around the country. West Ham United here have a free kick. Kehrer to take it, plays it forward. Koulibaly runs out of defence, takes it off his chest. Rice though wins it back for West Ham on the halfway line. Headed out then by Thiago. Broja unable to control the ball, goes back then towards Fabianski. And Fabianski hits it downfield for West Ham United. And now it's with James, good control, plays it back. Thiago, Koulibaly, Loftus-Cheek collects the ball. Fofana's almost playing now as a right back, and James is ahead of him on this near side. Here is Fofana on this right hand side, up towards James, high up the pitch. Those two combine. Chelsea seeing a lot of the ball. 10 minutes remain of Chelsea 1, West Ham United 1. Loftus-Cheek now comes short to collect the ball just inside the West Ham half. Spreads the ball out towards Chilwell. Nice ball too. Havertz is ahead of Chilwell. Then it's back with the England international who got the Chelsea equaliser to Raheem Sterling. He delivers the cross. Ball looking towards Mount, gathered in by Fabianski. Goal now, Austria-England in that Women's World Cup qualifier. Jojo.
Austria 0, England 1. It's Alicia Russo with the opening goal. She's been charged with leading the England line after the retirement of Ellen White, and she's got the first goal volleyed in. Austria 0, England 1.
See, even there, Ian, when he was switched out to Havertz, he gets the pitch, a real good touch. It's where he can, face someone up, and he turns out and plays backwards. I'd go absolutely potty. 1-on-1 wide in the final third.
Another goal at Brentford, Jonathan Overend.
Well, it's now Brentford 3, Leeds 2, and Leeds have been piling on the pressure since their manager saw red, and Mark Rocker has just steered it in past David Raya. And it's interesting now, Leeds back in it. Brentford 3, Leeds 2.
Elsewhere, Newcastle United 0, Palace 0, Nottingham Forest 2, Bournemouth 2, Tottenham 2, Fulham 0, Wolves still lead Southampton by a goal to 0. Accrington Stanley 0, Ipswich Town 1, still unbeaten, second in the table this morning. That actually would end Accrington's unbeaten run, although they have drawn 4 of their 5. There's still a stoppage in play here. Emerson is the one getting lengthy treatment. We'll go to Molineux, John Akers.
Wolves 1, Southampton 0, 9 minutes plus added time remaining. Southampton are having a go, but leaving themselves wide open on the break. Wolves 1, Southampton 0.
Play about to resume, and West Ham United are going to be making a change as well at the next stoppage in play. Ogbonna is going to be coming on for West Ham United, but they give the ball away over on that far side. It remains 1-1. Now they win it back. Rice away over the halfway line, right hand side, charging forward, carries the ball to the edge of the area, slips it on the outside to Benrahma, keeps the ball in play down by the corner flag, pulls it back. Sofal joins the attack, right corner of the area. He loses the ball high up the pitch. Let's get another update from the England's women rugby with Sarah Orchard.
It's England 45, USA 7, 68 minutes on the clock. Finally the USA off the mark through Hope Rogers, but England could be in a bit of trouble with a no-arms tackle from prop Shauna Brown. Referee still reviewing. It's England 45, USA 7.
Let's get an update from Carrow Road. Another goal, Aaron Paul.
Norwich 3, Coventry 0. Coventry are toast, and this is a great counter-attack from Dean Smith's side. The ball lashed down the middle of the field. Josh Sargent picked it up in between 2 defenders. He played into the path of Kieran Dow, unmarked. He smashed the ball past the goalkeeper. Norwich 3, Coventry 0.
Ogbonna has come on for Paquetá, so that will be defensive reinforcements for the attacking midfielder for West Ham, and Chelsea have made their 5th and final change. Loftus-Cheek has come off and Jorginho has come on, and we've got 7 minutes remaining of normal time, and it's still 1-1. And it's with Raheem Sterling. Luton Town 1, Wigan Athletic 1.
David's gone to a back 5 now, Ian.
So Ogbonna going in alongside Zuma and Kehrer.
They got the 4 in midfield. Bowen will swivel round from that side to make it a 4, keep it really tight, and he'll just leave the one up front.
Here is Emerson, caught in possession by a good challenge coming in from Fofana to Mount, finds James, right corner of the area. James pulls it back, Mount sends it goalwards, and the chip drifting away and out of play for a goal. Another goal at Brentford, Jonathan Overend.
2-goal advantage restored for Brentford, 4-2. Brian Mbeumo flicked on, he slotted it in. It was then flagged for offside, so they had to check it, but the flick had come off a Leeds defender's head rather than a Brentford attacker's head. Brentford 4, Leeds 2.
Carlisle United 3, Rochdale 3 is the latest score in League 2. Fabianski in no rush to take the goal kick. 6 minutes of normal time remain. These are the latest scores in League Two. Bradford City 2, Walsall 1, Carlisle 3, Rochdale 3, Colchester 0, Hartlepool United 1. That would be a first win for Paul Hartley's side. Crewe 1, Stevenage 2, Doncaster 1, Mansfield 3, Gillingham down to 10 men, still drawing with Swindon Town 0-0. Leyton Orient the leaders, leading Tranmere by a goal to 0. Newport County 0, Grimsby 1, Northampton 3, Barrow 1, Salford 2, Crawley 2, Stockport still lead Wimbledon by a goal to 0. It's Sutton United 2, Harrogate 1. Other latest scores to come through the divisions as we build up towards Sports Report. 1-1 here at Stamford Bridge, down the right hand side. James to Mason Mount. Mount with the cross, that was blocked. Fornells, edge of his own area to Emerson. Ball then towards Benrahma. The return ball to Fornells, who'd continued his run. He was caught there by Jorginho. No foul, but it will be a free kick. Latest scores in League One. Accrington 0, Ipswich 1, Bolton 3, Charlton 1, Bristol Rovers 1, Morecambe 2, Cambridge 2, Lincoln City 0. That'll be 4 wins on the bounce at the Abbey Stadium. Derby County 2, Plymouth Argyle 2, Exeter lead MK Dons by a goal to 0, Fleetwood 1, the 10 men of Wickham 1, Forest Green 0, Shrewsbury 2, Oxford 2, Burton 1, Port Vale 2, Cheltenham 1, Portsmouth are leading Peterborough 2-1, and it's Sheffield Wednesday 0, Barnsley 2. Barnsley's first away win in League One. Fornells has still stayed down.
Yeah, no rush there, just taking his time.
Cornet is going to be coming on. Maxwell Cornet, the former Burnley player, the Ivory Coast international. Whilst this change takes place for West Ham, it means I can give you the latest scores in the Championship. It is Fornells who he is replacing. It's a Cornet for Fornells. Blackburn 1, Bristol City 3. Bristol City will be 8 unbeaten now. Luton Town 1, Wigan 1, Millwall 1, Cardiff City 0, Norwich City 3, Coventry 0. That means it'll be 5 wins on the spin for Dean Smith's side. Preston 0, Birmingham 1. They've conceded their first goal in the Championship this season. Rotherham 1, Watford 1, Swansea lead Queen's Park Rangers by a goal to 0. The ball goes long for West Ham United, headed away by Fofana. Jorginho though caught in possession. Cornet to Benrahma, left hand side of the penalty area. Benrahma with a cross. Cornet hits the post with a header.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, what a chance that was for West Ham United. Jorginho, massive relief for him. He was caught in possession and West Ham almost made him pay.
He's done well to miss the goal there, eh?
What a chance. Another goal at Tottenham. John Southall.
Oh, it's game on. Tottenham 2, Fulham 1. Brilliant from Mitrovic on the left of the penalty area. Curled it into the top right-hand corner. 6 from 6 for Mitrovic. Tottenham 2, Fulham 1. 8 minutes to play.
Spinning away was Rice, looking for Cornet. You've just said, oh my goodness, haven't you?
Yeah, I've just watched it back and I should score.
Latest scores in the Premier League. Brentford lead Leeds United 4-2. Chelsea 1, West Ham United 1 here at Stamford Bridge. Newcastle 0, Crystal Palace 0. Nottingham Forest 2, Bournemouth 2. Just heard that goal back for Fulham at Tottenham. And Wolves still lead Southampton by a goal to 0.
So it's just one on that one now. Just take him on.
Chelsea are attacking. Far side. Broja waits, dances around the ball. Chilwell on the overlap. Low ball. Oh! Chelsea lead it late. But it's Kai Havertz on the half volley, left-footed, beats Fabianski inside his near post. Thomas Tuchel wanted a response, and they provided it. Complete turnaround. Chelsea 2, West Ham 1.
Again, Ian, they've got behind the West Ham defence. It's a cross, and they've got people in between the goal. It's a great finish, but my goodness, what a miss down the other end. 3 minutes earlier, 4 minutes earlier, it should have been 2-1 to West Ham. Great finish.
Substitutions have made a real difference for Chelsea. Chilwell, one of them, got the equaliser. He now gets an assist. Ball right from the back played in, and Kai Havertz it was who got the finishing touch. It was a nice crisp finish.
It's a great finish. They've got behind the back line. They've got bodies. They've got 4 bodies in the box. Chelsea. First time I've seen that this afternoon. Great finish.
Leyton Orient, the leaders of League 2, have got a second goal. They lead Tranmere 2-0. Let's get an update from the Rugby League. Dave Woods.
3 minutes to go. It's Leeds 8, Castleford 8. Crews Leaming's just finished a wonder try for Leeds from a Sakana break. We could be going to golden point extra time to decide this. Drama, it doesn't deserve this game. Leeds 8, Castleford 8.
Well, you wouldn't have believed at half-time that we were going to get 3 goals in this game. 2 sides yet to produce a shot on target at the break. And now it's had plenty of interest. And here's West Ham United, and it's Cornet! Cornet with the equaliser. What drama in this London derby. Mendy patted the ball out. It went straight to Cornet, who's redeemed himself after hitting the post with a header just minutes earlier. What a finish at Stamford Bridge. It's Chelsea 2, West Ham United 2. VAR will have a look. There might be a foul on Mendy. The West Ham United fans are celebrating. It was Bowen and Mendy going for a ball. I'm not sure that there was a foul there on Bowen, on Mendy.
No chance.
Just patted the ball out. That's what they'll be looking at. Meanwhile, it was 2-2 at the City Ground. There's been a late goal at Forest. Pat Murphy.
It's now 3-2 to Bournemouth. A mistake from McKenna. Left the goalkeeper short with his back pass. Squared across. Easy side foot for McKenna. 2-0 down with 40 minutes to go. They now lead 3-2.
Newport 0, Grimsby 2 is the latest score in League 2.
I tell you, it's a great finish from the kid as well. He's picked his spot and tucked it in the top corner. But what a miss earlier on when he's headed it against the bar.
That's not a foul. They're looking for a possible foul.
No chance.
Bowen, he goes at the feet of Bowen, does Mendy. But Bowen, he's already made... he's patted it away.
What happens when they go over to the monitor? What happens to this? What they usually do then? Change their mind?
They change their minds.
Oh, for goodness sake.
But the VAR, Jared Gillett, has instructed Andrew Madley to go across towards the monitor. So he clearly thinks that there's been a foul. I don't think that Bowen fouls Mendy. Mendy hasn't got control of the ball. That's nothing to do with Bowen. This is going to be a controversial decision if it goes against West Ham United. The drama isn't over just yet. We're in the 91st minute. He's having a long look at it. We don't get the instruction that Jared Gillett is giving to Andrew Madley. But he's got to go with his own opinion, surely the referee. Is that a clear and obvious foul? He's having a long look at the monitor. Maxwell Cornet's goal, does it stand? The goal has been chalked off. We're back at 2-1. West Ham United will not be happy.
He's parried the ball out, and it's Bowen's momentum that's taken him in. You know, Ian, it's a game of challenge, and the game has been better second half because we've had more challenges. They've played at a bigger pace, a better pace. I just find that extraordinary.
I'm not sure the contact from Bowen.
I find it extraordinary, really.
With Mendy, he's already patted it out before there's any potential contact.
I think it's his laces that catch him. I don't think it's his studs. I think it's his laces that catch the lad. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
To be fair, we've got Chelsea fans who sit right in front of us. They're able to see the monitor. They know that they've got away with one as well. Let's get an update from Dave Woods at Leeds. Leeds are going to win it. Last minute of the game, Eden Caesars just scored the try. There'll be no time for Castleford to respond to this. Kick still to come, but Leeds 12, Castleford 8. Leeds are into the playoffs next week. There goes the hooter. That confirms it. Leeds in the playoffs next week. Castleford's season is over. Millwall 2, Cardiff City 0. Latest in the Championship. Accrington 0, Ipswich 2 will stay in Lancashire. Another goal at Blackburn, Lee Blakeman.
Game on, Blackburn 2, Bristol City 3. 2 minutes of stoppage time to play, and Ben Brayton Diaz has got one back for Rovers. Blackburn 2, Bristol City 3.
They said VAR, you wouldn't re-referee. For me, that's been re-referee. I don't think that's a clear and obvious error by Andrew Madley. I also don't think that there was a foul at all on Mendy.
No, not at all. He's come out. He's parried the ball out. There's been no one in between him and the ball. He's parried it out. He's made a mistake. And Bowen's just come through. His momentum has taken him through. He's not even caught him with his studs. He's caught him with his laces. He has caught him, but again, it's not a foul.
Another goal, this time at Brentford, Jonathan Overend.
5-2 to Brentford, and Johan Wisser off the bench and in on the act. What an afternoon it's been for the Bees. They lead Leeds 5-2.
It's still 2-1 to Chelsea, but that will be a real talking point. We'll try and bring you as much reaction as we can from what has been a busy Saturday afternoon in Sports Report that's coming up with Steve Crossman.
I'd like to hear Moisey after the game and see what he thinks about that.
I'm glad I'm not asking him the questions.
Yeah, true.
Although I would agree with him whatever he said. When you see it tonight on Match of the Day tonight, 10:25 on BBC One, Bowen the keeper's patted it out, and then Bowen catches the arm of Mendy, and that's when Mendy clutches his arm in agony or whatever to indicate that there's been the foul. Another goal at Tottenham. John Southall.
Tottenham 3, Fulham 1. Sessegnon again with the supply line. This time Richarlison sliding in. The shirt is off. He is celebrating. Tottenham have the win. Tottenham 3, Fulham 1.
In all of the drama, not too sure how much stoppage time there is, but Kevin Nolan is still protesting to the fourth official down below. This will be a talking point.
It's been a good game, second half.
It has.
Yeah, first half, I have to keep knocking you to keep you awake, mate. But second half, it's been non-stop. It's been played at a better tempo. West Ham have sat in. They've been really solid. Second half, Chelsea have had players who have stretched the game, who have looked to play behind their back line, and have taken people on one-on-one situations.
Ball hooked goalwards by Bowen. West Ham United will feel aggrieved. I wouldn't mind, but every time you knocked me, you were knocking my arm, the hold my microphone in. You kept on taking a chip out of my front teeth. 2-1 then to Chelsea. And we are in the 95th minute of this contest here. I cannot wait to hear what David Moyes has got to say about it. Chilwell. Substitutions have transformed Chelsea. It's a goal kick. That goal was ruled out, I'm hearing, at Tottenham. It's having a real say today, isn't it? VAR. So that would...
It's not VAR. Let me just get this correct. It's not VAR. It's the people who are running VAR. VAR just record on the TV what happens.
Yeah.
It's those people, it's those human beings who are making the decisions, not VAR. People keep saying VAR. It's the referees stuck in that office wherever they are making the decisions.
Yeah. Jared Gillett making that decision. Emerson and Mason Mount now squaring up to each other. Referee's got to keep his eye on that, but he's also got to try and get past Zuma and Souček. Zuma getting very, very close towards the referee.
This will suit Chelsea, Ian. It's killing time now.
Free kick to Chelsea. Even my little gadget hasn't told me how much added on time there will be normally at updates. So we've been playing now for nearly 7 minutes.
That little gadget, is that your watch?
No, it's a little... That was a proper dig in the ribs. That's a red card, by the way.
They used to call it a watch, didn't they?
7 minutes into stoppage time. Chelsea lead 2-1. Sports reports come. Thiago plays it out towards that far side. Havertz could be the match winner. That's only half the story. After Maxwell Cornet, his header hit the post, then he thought he'd got a point for West Ham United, only for VAR, also known as Jared Gillett, to have the final say.
Oh, it was a reaction again then. He's pushed, Sofal's pushed him. The way Havertz has fallen over.
Yellow card.
It's quite embarrassing, actually. If you watch this back on the TV and have a look at the way he falls.
Throw taken quickly for West Ham. The referee wasn't happy, wants it retaken. We're 5-5, we're still playing. Newcastle 0, Crystal Palace 0. Tottenham 2, Fulham 1. Wolves 1, Southampton 0. Nottingham Forest 2, Bournemouth 3. And it's finished here. Chelsea 2, West Ham United 1. What drama. Action-packed second half after a very stale first 45 minutes. Antonio gave West Ham the lead just past the hour. Substitutions transformed Chelsea. Chilwell with the equaliser, and then Havertz with a late winner, although Cornet had a goal disallowed, and that'll be the talking point. Chelsea 2, West Ham 1. Steve.
And much more reaction to come on Sports Report. Full time's coming in. Let's go to Molineux. Wolves Southampton, John Akers.
Wolves 1.